Hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Happy Friday the 13th. Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. The Divine Feminine Portal. It's Friday the 13th on Venus Day, Friday, Freya Day, Goddess Freya. And it's the 13th, which is the Divine Feminine sign. And as I was running the astrology earlier this week, for the eclipse reading we were supposed to do on Wednesday, but it makes total sense now why I had to kind of be unplugged from the internet that day. So I didn't get to go live. And then upgraded to, it went from, I can't remember the number. It's like the cable or the fiber optic stuff that they run. But we went to like 400, I think my husband said megs. And before it was like, don't quote me, but I think it was like less than 100. So like whew, super speed. Weirdly enough though, there's been a lot of glitches or just the internet not working at random, even though it says it's up, stuff like this. But we are in this eclipse portal. And funny enough, I go back to what I was saying, drawing the chart for the eclipse. It's funny because we have like a huge pile up in Aquarius where this eclipse is happening per Vedic astrology. I believe it could be happening still. I think it's in Aquarius for both because it's at 3 degrees. The sun and moon are at 3 degrees of Aquarius in Vedic astrology. That would put it closer to, 27, 28 degrees in Western astrology. So yeah, we're having just like and I always feel personally that when Vedic and tropical are kind of piling up in the same energy, it's more intense. I don't know if you felt that. A lot of the people in my life, they're feeling attacked or held back or just like life, sickness, illness, delays, blockages, all sorts of stuff. But that's coming up to be released. That's the beautiful thing of this beautiful death and rebirth energy of this divine feminine. But the funny thing is Venus is tied up with Mercury and the sun and the moon, and of course the North Node, Rahu, in the sign of Aquarius that are creating, Rahu helps create these eclipses. It's, where it's the calculation of the north and south nodes of the moon, right? That's where the nodes are transiting, the eclipses always happen. But Venus is at 13 degrees of Aquarius. How funny. And funny enough, also at the exact time of the eclipse in mountain time, that puts it as a 13 degree, was it Virgo ascendant? I think Virgo ascendant. I would have to double check. I mean, we're going to run through all of this tomorrow. So if you have not heard the news flash, tomorrow is our rescheduled eclipse reading. And funny thing, I was just like puttering around in the back end of my Done Creative for the first time in probably months and months and months and months and months and months, but like since sometime early 2025 probably is the last time I went into my YouTube studio over there. What is going on with my hair? So I accidentally created the live stream on the Done Creative rather than here. So it's up over there, but I'm gonna cancel or delete that one and put it properly where it needs to be. Weirdly enough, though, for the first time ever, just having this, I scheduled it Wednesday and was gonna go live, but couldn't because of the whole internet issue. I just rescheduled it to Saturday, so it's still kind of in the queue of live streams or whatever over on the Done Creative. And someone actually donated $1.99 with like a thumbs up, like, yay. So I kind of feel bad now. I'm like, hey, I'm going to delete this, but come over here. So I might have to do that. But yeah, no one's ever just randomly donated way before a live stream started like that, just for no reason other than, hey, thumbs up, good job. Like, so cool. Trying to think. Yeah, anyone else? Okay, so we are in this very divine feminine energy, grids that we're suppressing or holding back or restraining, because it can't delete or stop the divine feminine from being on the planet, but it can and has very heavily suppressed or weighed down or persecuted, perpetrated, people that are embodying this divine feminine energy in this patriarchal false light grid that's put over the original divine blueprint of this planet. You may find, I know I have lately, that that suppression tech is just not hitting the same. So even if you are, you know, for personal example, let's just put this. I felt this huge, I don't know, weight or just kind of almost dizzying, chaotic, just unable to like lightning precision in my book 3, 4, 5, and 6 in my series. Like I know the main things that need to happen. Like I just downloaded them intuitively. I know what needs to happen, but I was really struggling with the why. Well, why does this scene have to take place? And why is it specifically this thing that the characters are really struggling with in book 5 versus any other thing that could have been downloaded through? And everything, I would say in the last 2 weeks, but especially since about Tuesday evening, moving into Wednesday, things just started locking into place. It's almost like I, had this 1,000-piece puzzle and I was missing like 6 really key important pieces so that were very obvious they were missing, and they have fallen into place in ways that I can't even describe. Um, that is really just amping me up and getting me like laser focused in my series. And fun fact too, for those that care, I'm sure most of you don't, but some of you do for sure. So as we know, those of you who've been here, we are moving into in 2027, February 15th to be exact. We are moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix per human design. We have been since 1615, the year 1615. I inverted those. The year 1615, the underlying energy of this planet has been the cross of planning, which is about governments and structures and, giving your authority outside of you to someone who's like an expert in the field or whatever. In 2027, February 2027 to be exact, February 15th, we're moving into that cross of the sleeping phoenix, which these systems, we're already feeling it, we're already seeing it. These systems are going to start crumbling and dismantling. And a big part of the rise of the divine feminine, the rise of the sleeping phoenix coming in kind of in the 12th house energy of pre-birth of this cross of the sleeping phoenix being birthed next year. We're already feeling the labor pains of this, many of us. Some of us, like Brianna, who has this incarnation cross as her birth incarnation cross, she's already like been embodying this energy and has even really started fine-tuning it since she's starting to hear the echoes from the future. She's really starting to embody this so she can be like this beacon of light or beacon of hope for people who are having this incarnation cross, or who do not have this incarnation cross, or who don't have any gates associated with it, or gates that go with it very well. But if you don't maybe have that incarnation cross, but you have some of the gates of the cross of the sleeping phoenix, you may notice that you felt very out of alignment with the very corporate structure, government structures, just structural ways of the cross of planning over the last 400 plus years. But this gave me chills the other day. I believe it was Wednesday. I'm trying to remember. Yes, I think it was Wednesday. No, it would have been Tuesday, maybe. Don't quote me. One day this week, Jessa and Versha may be able to confirm. I've texted both of them about it. It was, and this is nothing new. I mean, people are constantly trying to petition or get the Seattle Police Department to reopen the case of Kurt Cobain's unaliving. We'll put it that way. It was literally labeled as an unaliving, but those of us who know, it was not a self unaliving. This was something orchestrated. I did a whole Patreon deep dive reading on this. And because I don't any longer have my Patreon, if you guys want me to link you to this just to watch my Kurt Cobain reading for free, email me at amanda@dunphotodesign.com. Let me type that out there. And I will personally send you the link for this private Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Thank you for that clarification. Mars Day, right? And Mars is in my 12th house of let's uncover the secrets. I love that. So it was Tuesday, and you're like, wait, what? That yes, they said there's an unofficial investigation from independent researchers that have basically, and everybody who's seen the physical evidence and the narrative that they've been pushing all these years since 94. No, these things don't add up. They don't add up. And in fact, they more than point to the fact that he did not self unalive. More than point to that. But as the structure of the cross of planning, government secrets and all this is crumbling literally right now on the eve of, or the 11th hour of the cross of planning, us moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. This is starting to come to light. And it really surprised me actually because, fun fact, Kurt Cobain has the incarnation cross, in his personal incarnation cross is the sleeping phoenix. But he was kind of the voice of a generation, and those starseeds, light workers, earth angels, indigos, blue-ray souls, crystal children, whatever you want to label yourself, not just someone who's just a drone in the NPC machine of the Matrix that was alive during those times back in the 90s. Whenever it was, if you did discover, Nirvana or Kurt Cobain, there was somehow a resonance, even if it didn't take over your life or anything. There was somehow a resonance, or I see you, and I feel like you see me, or you get me. And my main character in my series has the birthday of February 20th. Kurt Cobain has the birthday of February 20th, but his is 67, hers is 1980, because this is set in the 90s, my series. But they both have the incarnation cross of the sleeping phoenix. And I had no idea about human design when I started writing this, and knowing that these specific codes, I just downloaded them. I didn't have any logic involved, oh, I think it makes better sense. I mean, technically her birthday should, if we're going to have it serve the narrative, it would have been better off in the summer or maybe even in the fall. But no, I knew for a fact it had to be February 20th, 1980. And then, of course, when I ran her human design chart, I learned she had the cross of the sleeping phoenix, but I didn't know what that meant back then. And then learning all about this, we're moving into this, and it makes so much sense. It's almost like I'm almost seeing this back in 2016 when I really wrote the bulk of book 1. I'm seeing this, and of course I started this whole series as a Sims 2 story back in 2005, 2005, a long time ago, almost 21 years ago at this point. But the crazy thing is, I was going somewhere with that, and now I'm like, oh, yes, it almost is like I'm opening a portal to the past in the 90s using this series set in the 90s, but published after 2027 sometime, right? As almost like a time machine to go back and fix the codes of the coming digital lockdown that they've put us in. Basically, my series starts in 1993. Book 2 is 94, toward the September of 94 through very early part of 1995. Book 3, 2 and 3 are that time. Book 4 takes us back to 1974. So it's way back to the past, but you will see there are certain elements that make total sense for why it needs to be in the series. And then book 5 is in 95. Book 6, the finale, is in 1997. But the funny thing is, there's so many downloads about this. Around the time that my series ends is when the internet really started to become a household thing. 1997. We didn't get it in my personal household till 1998, but people of influence or money and means were maybe having the internet as early as 95, 96, potentially. My very first ever instance with, I remember the date even, weirdly enough, April 16th, 1996. That's my very first time ever going on Yahoo. I was at the library, and the lady's like, yeah, you can go on the internet. Because I signed up for 30 minutes of internet time. And she's like, just type whatever you want to know into the Yahoo chat thing, or the Yahoo, Google basically today. And I did. I don't remember what I was looking up, but I'm I kind of just sat there for a minute, I don't know what I want to know. What do I want to know? So it's funny that this series is actually taking place before all of this digital, being further enmeshed in some sort of digital net or cage or crate of sorts to further control us, sell our data, all the things. Um, yeah, it's insane. It's insane that little old me back in 2005 had no idea about any of this, and the fact that I was just writing for fun on a Sims 2 story website, had no ever intention of publishing that. I mean, obviously, it's very different than what it was back then. Pretty much a whole new vibe for sure, but the seeds were planted back then. But yeah, we have a lot of really good stuff, and we're 15 minutes in. I should probably get to the point. What's going on today is we are doing, as a celebration of this divine feminine portal, 1313 actually adds up to 4-4, and my 2222 readings add up to 4-4. We are closing out the vibration or energy of the 4-4 for the main reading or for the full reading on my live stream, because moving forward after today, I kind of let you guys know this earlier, to enhance the vibration and the frequency of the information coming through from me to you and the energy exchange between us. It has to increase because I've been feeling my gifts increase, and by keeping them at the 2021 pricing, it's almost like I'm trying to, again, shoehorn myself into a box that no longer fits. And past versions of me would have apologized and been like, is that okay, you guys? I'm so sorry. But 2026 me is like, no, this needs to happen. And it's not as selfish, oh, I need more money. That's not at all what this is. It's, I can provide more value to you because the energy exchange has risen. And the new pricing will be 25-25. We're moving into the 7-7 energy. And we're going to, of course, the 11-11 readings will also move up. I have not looked at the figured that out yet. I'm pretty sure they're going to be 16, 7-7 as well. Yes, because 11-11 readings added up to 4 if you put them all together, but then it was 2-2, if that makes sense, which also adds up to 4. But we're elevating these numbers to 7-7, like diamond frequency of this new energy. So I hope that is a good enough explanation as to why the price increase and why it matters not only, to me, but also to you. And this is something I haven't done in a long time, but I was just in my room where all my former offices, my former office now Wrigley's bedroom, but still kind of uses a temporary office. All my stuff was moved into my bedroom and the hallway here. And this caught my eye on the shelf yesterday, and I had to have it near me. Pyrite. It's iron pyrite. So there's something, and you can see some of the quartz crystal matrix on the back here. Do you see that? Yeah, and then the $15, which adds up to a 6, the price, how much I paid for it at the gem show. It looks like they used whiteout and then put the number 15. But embodying with that number 1, embodying our authenticity, originality, new beginning energy in tandem with this chaotic 5 of chaos and conflict and just butting of heads and friction that we're currently going through. But that adds up to a 6, which is about the nourishment and the self-love and the self-care and pulling out the weeds that don't need to be in our energy field, our physical environments, and relationships, and also our careers. Pulling out the weeds. Okay. So yes, we are doing $13.13 full reads today. And I will, because we do have quite a few already that have donated, I'm going to update our list here. We are going to be, for sure, sticking to our timer today. So when the timer goes off, I will finish the thought, but then we will have to stop and move on, if that makes sense. And then Katie, she actually donated 2222 back Wednesday because she, we all thought we were going to have a live stream Wednesday until we couldn't. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's at work maybe today. So I will do her reading today. But if she feels, because everyone else got a 13-13 reading and she got a 22-22 reading, I can do something a little extra special for her on Saturday, which is tomorrow. We have another live stream tomorrow, you guys. Buckle up. That one's a big one. We're really diving into these eclipse energies and what this means just energetically moving forward for all of us. And we're going to, of course, look at the just kind of collective energy of the world, because even though we may feel like we're on this higher frequency, we still are seeing these things play out, these files that are going on. The pep and the ep, as I was calling it. And my mom's like, you should just call it EpiPen. And that makes sense. And then it's funny because I saw someone, I think it's Amani Forrester or Foster. I can't remember her last name. Amani Foster. On YouTube was calling them the EpiPen files. So I just thought that was a funny synchronicity. But the pep and the ep, you know what I'm talking about. I got a huge download about that as I let my dog out. It was like 3:20 something in the morning on Wednesday night it was. I let her out and then I came back in, went back to bed and was settling in, and it's weird because I saw these visions of, we can all see the writing on the wall. The administration, especially in the US, but I'm sure in other parts of the world, their governmental administrations or control administrations look like buffoons, bumbling idiots who are highly evil, highly just immoral. And I'm like, why are they? Not just why, because there's a changing of the guard. The energy is shifting. Things are raising to a higher vibration. The cat's out of the bag. The roaches are scattering because the lights have been turned on. We know that. We know that. But your average person may not know that, and they are in fear. And problem, reaction, solution is what I heard, which is a common playbook by this cabal or hidden controllers, if we want to call them that. They're not in control of much, let's be honest. But the illusion that we need to surrender our control over to them, for them to make the decisions, for them to set the structures, those times are coming to a close very quickly. But as their last-ditch effort, they are allowing all sorts of things to come out about current celebrities, administration, and governmental institutions, people of influence, billionaires. These people, their dirty deeds are coming to the light, and there will be somebody. And this is kind of like, oh, it's go time. It's go time. We all know this shadow government has been in control the whole time. We already know that. There ain't nothing new under the sun here, right? But what I got kind of during that between sleep and awake state was that when someone of great influence is officially arrested, that's not been arrested with, and it may or may not, but also, yes, it is, but also other things with the PEP and the EP files. Once a person of great influence is arrested, they are taken away, and it looks like a victory for the people, victory for the victims, victory for whatever, crimes this person committed. We know they committed them, but they're not the only ones. They're just scratching the surface. But then I see this person being released back into the public like, oh yeah, I did those things, but prove it. You can't stop me. But this is basically the key fitting into a lock, allowing the shadow government to, again, it's not the entities themselves coming out of the closets, so to speak, but basically ushering a new guard that has much more control, allowing that shadow governmental institution to step forward and literally claim that the current administrations and systems are null and void now, and now we're in charge. Well, no one gave them that authority. And as we move into 2027, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well because the people are having the underlying energy, this surge, and especially with this divine feminine energy rising like the sleeping phoenix all this time, especially since the 60s, but it's really amped up since 2012, 2016, 2017, 2022, or 2020, 2022. They kind of did what's it called? Like a soft launch of this control in 2020 when they, released the thing and everything associated with the year 2020, the lockdowns, the illness, the fear, the absolute pandemonium and fear. That was a soft launch of, can we pull this off? And all the things that have been going on in the news basically since then are just how far can we push this before people start fighting back? And maybe certain people are fighting back, but most people are just sitting there. They literally drop these PEP and EP files, and then people just go on with their day and have the Super Bowl and like la-di-da, nothing to see here, business as usual. Like the cognitive dissonance that must be going on for that to even be a reality, especially for these people who didn't have this knowledge prior. A lot of us, I've been in these conspiracy theory rabbit hole trenches since the 90s. Like I have Mercury in the 8th house. I was built for these times, so to speak. And it was even shocking to me, especially 2016, the whole, slice of pizza, and then you enter the gate. You know what I'm talking about? And then the false flags with that. Oh no, they are hitting. I'm so sorry. I locked and loaded the protection of this live stream. Locked and loaded. So because they can't cut my feed today, they're just serving up ads left, right, and center. I am so sorry, you guys. Hopefully, at least on the replay, I think I can go in the back end and just take all the ads off because it'll show me like tick marks where all the ads are placed. I don't ever think to do that, but I could go do that. Or I can just, I think on the YouTube back end, it's like grayed out when I try to do it before the live stream, but after the live stream, I can go in and just unmonetize it. And then that won't, they still will put ads though. That's the thing, is even if you're unmonetized, they will still capitalize on it. But what I was saying, back in 2016, when I was deep in the slice of pizza and then go through the gate, heavy on pizza, and then go through the gate, PDF file gate. I was deep in those trenches back then and angered and like almost was in a state of psychosis over all the things I was uncovering and the evil that I could just feel on this planet. So I've had a good 10 years to like soften the blow of what I knew was coming with all of this information coming to light. And they're still redacting things, obviously, but just think of your average everyday person who goes to work, comes home, pays their bills, watches football, eats their pizza, does whatever, finding out about this stuff. And then just watching the Super Bowl like, oh, okay. I could never. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And there's one thing about like, okay, I don't want to dive into these files, but I know people that did and have, just looking at my my Facebook feed, looked at these files and then were participating in yet another ritual during the Super Bowl, just still blissfully unaware that their energy is being siphoned and harvested and hijacked. And not to say that you can't ever watch a Super Bowl or whatever, but just you being aware, just very heavily protecting yourself, because you will pay the consequences of that through direct energy hits and hooks and interference after the fact. It's just what happens. Let's see. Let's catch up on some comments. I kind of went off the rails, but that's the chaos of this divine feminine, is just releasing everything. Maybe there's not a container to put it all in, but it's just flowing and going. For some of you, there's kind of two sides of this divine feminine gateway that we're in right now. Coin. Ooh, I can feel so much energy between my hands right now. There's kind of two sides of the coin. One is you may be feeling very emotional and tired and lethargic and needing to rest. Maybe you have some illness going on. If you don't already have that, I don't see that it's coming in, but like if you're already kind of feeling away, you may be feeling this. On the other side of that divine feminine coin, because you're purging, that first part is you're purging a lot of this density or suppression tech that was overriding your own divine feminine, whether you're male or female or anything in between or outside of. Whatever was overriding that divine feminine tech, or divine feminine original blueprint, the tech that was suppressing that is being lifted or released. So it's almost like there's still a net, But now this, your true divine feminine essence, whether you're man or woman or whatever, is now like flowing like water through a net. It's now unstoppable, basically. I mean, even if the grid is still there, it's coming forward, it's coming through. But as we have to release this density or shed this density, a lot of pent up emotions will come up. And, you know, your body is literally purging and detoxing a lot of the evils that have been anchored into this frequency for millennia. And that's not an easy thing. Yes, many of us have been doing this the whole time we've been incarnated, on and off, over and over, yet another healing and peeling. But this seems somehow bigger this time. And moving into this eclipse, it's almost going to amplify. But the other side of that coin is your creativity that may have felt suppressed or held within a grid or a lockdown. And creativity doesn't just mean writing or painting or whatever. Your whole life is a creative project. So anything, whether you deem it as a creative project or just like life in general, that has felt suppressed or held back or stuck may really start flowing for you at this time as well. So two sides of the same coin. One is a lot of purging, the death energy, right? And then on the other side is the rebirth, allowing these creations to come forth. So it's very 9 energy tied with 1 energy, but then it's 1 energy, new beginning, authenticity, sovereignty, and reclamation of your own power, mixed with the 3 of creative life force and creative like collaborations coming together, building something, whether it's mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, or anything else. Now is like almost acting as this chaotic gate into this cross of the sleeping phoenix popping in. Tomorrow is the end. A year from tomorrow is the end of the cross of planning. We're going to get more into all of that tomorrow, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little touch of what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And we're going to be using the Dreams Within Dreams tarot today. The Oracle of the 7 Energies, we're bringing her back out. I don't think I have used this one. It's been a while. Probably since I was still doing pick a cards like regularly on Harmony Portal Tarot. I was using this deck still. And then the original OG live streaming deck, Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. Love this one so much. So much. My favorite card in here is the Bitchfire card. I want to say that might even be number 13. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've used this. I don't even know. Chaos all over. I knocked a bunch of stuff down. Tea leaf oracles all over the floor because they were stacked on top of something else. But fun fact, my cousin Tanya actually gave me this deck as a gift because she's so sweet. But yes, we're bringing this one online. Okay, so 32 minutes in, and I still haven't let you guys know that we are also having our drawing and giveaway, but we're going to hit some of these donations first. I'm going to update my list. That's what I'm going to do. First and foremost, we're going to update our donation list so you can all see. And it's getting hot in here. I'm not taking off my clothes. Maybe my sweatshirt at some point. I'm just generating the heat, talking about all this. Let me quickly catch up on your comments, and then we will make our list. We'll dive into our list, boom, 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 knock some out, and then do our giveaway and drawing at some point, and then knock more of our list out. It's a bigger than normal list already today, which is awesome. Okay, in a deep, deep web, the Pep in the Ep person was not even the main person. I feel he took the blame. Absolutely, absolutely. Years ago, when we first even had this name come on the scene, I knew that that wasn't even who this person was born as. This is an alias or a character, a part they're playing in the greater scheme of things, because this has been orchestrated for many, many, many years, decades, centuries even. These times, they knew these times were coming. They knew what they needed to do. Maybe they didn't have all the irons in the fire or power players figured out, but they knew the overall sense of what they needed to do to overthrow one thing, to be able to step into something even more controlling. But it's going to backfire because the architecture and the structure of the cross of planning is literally dissolving. It's already in dissolution mode right now. and it will fully be dissolved, but the echoes of it will continue. Let's just put that out there. The egregore that it created as being the underlying energy for 400 plus years will still continue past 2027, especially in the hearts and minds of the people who were very much entrenched in the cross of planning and their corporate lifestyle and their, just literally being a puppet of the matrix. Those people are going to have a very hard time letting that go. But the people who've already been like, enough's enough with the matrix, let's move to something better, we're more than ready for these systems to fall. That doesn't mean we won't be in fear at times or scared, or maybe even like this kind of almost Stockholm syndrome of something that did feel comfortable, like our bank account, or that steady job that we've had, even though it kind of sucks our soul. Not me, I love my job, but people out there I know don't want to have to work the job that they're in, but it's good money, or it's in a good location, or there's a lot of sacrifice involved in a lot of people's work that just cannot be a thing in the cross of the sleeping phoenix. You have to own your authenticity and be in alignment. You can't work a job that sucks your soul. You will literally not be able to moving forward. And that's going to be very confusing for people from, even now people are starting to feel corporate structures fall, and it doesn't mean that corporations will cease to exist. They will just have to exist in a different way, or the underlying structure of them will have to change with these times. And maybe it's not even until 2029 or 2030 that certain corporations get the memo, because they may not understand all of this, and they may not have seen this coming, to move into a more authentic approach to their business dealings. Yeah. That was only one comment, and I just went on a rabbit hole again. You got me talking today, guys. You got me talking. Girl, I've got 9 ads. Oh, I've watched that. Gosh, I hate that. I hate that. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. That has nothing on, that is not my doing. I always turn the ads off, but they put them anyway, every time. Oh my God. A man was screaming in Atlanta airport saying exactly the same thing. You are all sleeping. You are not even impacted a bit. Oh, I think I saw that, or someone told me about that. I can't remember. I think he had dreadlocks and he's like, wake up. I think I saw that. I'm like, you and me both, brother, preach it. Like, what the heck? I mean, it's not their fault, right? Because they didn't do it. But I mean, once we learn certain truths, we can't just fit ourselves back in the box of who we were before we learn the truth. That box should be dissolved, People don't feel like they have a big enough influence to do anything about what they are doing. Also, we feel the need to continue our everyday. Exactly. And that's part of them suppressing this awakening, is keeping people perpetually distracted, perpetually busy, perpetually burned out. All by design. But many of us, 2016, earlier in 2016, I mean, since 2010, I've just known that my path is to work for myself, because I did have fun working certain jobs from here and there, but they were always very temporary. And I knew going into certain jobs, they were going to be temporary, because this is not where my heart is. And even in my entrepreneurial endeavors, I didn't continue on with the photography after it crashed and burned. And it's not anything I did. It was just the energy was shifting me into my higher truth, into my awakening. And if I were to try to continue to shoehorn myself into that role of photographer, it just fell on deaf ears. The harder I tried, the less people would call, the less money I made, the more depressed I got. And I just knew it wasn't for me anymore. That doesn't mean I lose my skills of photography, or that I can't utilize it in other ways, because I still do, and I still can. It's just not the way I make my living anymore, Yeah. And I've never made a living as an author, because I haven't published anything yet. I've been a writer my whole life, but I haven't published. I haven't been an author yet. And that is my ultimate goal and dream of my life. Since I was before I could read, I wanted to write books. And back then, of course, it was children's books I wanted to write and illustrate, because I was also like really someone who loved doing artistic things like drawing and painting and illustrating and all the fun things. Animations. Yeah. People don't feel it. Yeah, I read that. Oh my God, that's me. Even Kay came home from school and hit the bed for a nap. We are both feeling in our bones, literally. Yeah. And this is like a bone deep purge. So down to the marrow, down to the very cellular structure of our human anatomy. is purging the evil and just the heaviness and allowing that divine feminine that's been suppressed into the pores and cracks of the structure to start rising. 333 following me. Yeah, and about being on both sides of the coin, I will tell you this, especially since 2016 when I had my big Kundalini awakening. I was sicker than a dog. It felt like an extreme flu that day, ascension flu, whatever. There was so much energy running through me. I was puking. I was just purging. I was very lethargic. I spent over 4 hours in the bathtub. Yes, 4 hours. And I had to keep refilling the bathtub like every hour and a half or so because it was getting cold, you know? Um, I I will tell you, those two sometimes are very interlinked because as we purge, it's like the new truths emerge instantly. Um, yeah, October 16th, the night or the morning day after my October 15th awakening of 2016, uh, was probably still to this day one of my ever biggest download days ever. And then there were a few in 2017, a few in 2018. I've had a few scattered here and there. But the things that were unlocking for my book this week feel on par with just the next level that I was on that day specifically. It's things are really amping up in a good way, but it feels very chaotic, very almost painful or pressurized as well. You're gonna donate too. If it gets too much, you can cover them tomorrow. Yeah, if for some reason we have to, because I'm already 41 minutes in, just be chitter chattering. I do need to probably be off of here by about 2 o'clock my time. It's 11:42. We should have plenty of time, especially if I actually stick to my timer this time. That wouldn't that be a concept? Me sticking to my timer. Oh, the name on the passport was something else, and seems he belonged to IS. Oh, okay. Wow. Pluto in Aquarius much? Yes, in Western astrology. Oh, Jane McDonald's here. Hi, hon. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Oh, it's so crazy. This little 8-year-old girl was, oh no, several weeks ago on the knob where I work, and no one cares. Blows my mind. But that's the thing is when the divine feminine rises, people have no choice but to care. Women and the feminine is are the ones who birth. So of course, when there's the opposite of birth, which is death, that greatly and deeply impacts and affects or suppresses, harms the divine feminine because I mean, you look at the statistics of people who will harm their own families or children, harm people in general. It's like overwhelmingly in the 90 percentile, it's men doing these things. And just usually anywhere from definitely less than 10% of these are enacted by feminine people. Not saying feminine people can't be crazy evil and do these things. They can, but their divine feminine energy is very heavily suppressed when that's the case. But even people who we would deem asleep still have that divine, when you're a female and you have that divine feminine heart, it hurts your heart. Even if you don't consider yourself an empath or anything, it still hurts your heart when you hear of a child or a woman, especially, but not always. Even men can be included in the pain or the grief that we feel when just any life is taken, really. And animals too, like it's yeah. And then there are people out there that just don't care at all. It's to me, I can't relate. Yeah. They haven't even gotten a lead on the abductor. Oh my gosh, that's just insane. Commercials in the RV, right? We were telling stories and making songs, and oh my gosh, we were the coolest people ever. Jessa and I. Back to our old fun memories. This is interesting when you talk about the sickness like that. I did merge with my crystalline version from which felt my organic blueprint. Maybe that is that. Absolutely. And it can definitely feel like an outside attack when this is happening because it is years worth of outside attacks that we pushed down or tried to, you know, seclude or quarantine in our own energy field to protect ourselves. So that could be why you were having a hard time, Bersha, like detecting the entities coming in from outside because potentially they're just being released from their quarantine spots on the inside. Does that feel like it resonates? Because that feels like it resonates even in my own just stuff that's come up, just like these blockages that have come up has been like past attacks that I thought I dealt with, but then part of it was actually kind of quarantined to some section of my energy field because I didn't have the skills or the power or even the like mental capacity to completely annihilate it or send it back to source or alchemize it or transmute it at the time. Fersha has chills. All right, guys, I have soapboxed enough. I'm sure you guys don't care. I'm sure those watching the replay are like, what is she even on about? I don't know. I like to have these more conversational, flowy live streams from time to time. Today was probably not supposed to be that day, but like, here it is. It's the Divine Feminine. Just some girlfriends hanging out, having a chat, you know, about things beneath the surface because, you know, the kind of more feminine on the surface way of doing that would be more like gossiping or talking crap about people. Let's be honest though. Let's not completely like consider gossip a bad thing. It has saved a lot of people's lives. Gossiping about this really bad date you had with this kind of sketchy fellow could save a girlfriend or a friend or someone in the community's life because you gossiped about it. I mean, let's look at the positives of gossip. But when you're gossiping because you feel inferior and you're just trying to blow someone's shine out or candle out, that's not good. That's not good. But when you're gossiping to spread awareness, I don't even know if you would consider that gossiping, but you're like spilling the tea on something that happened to you or something you heard, you know, the network of girlfriends. Like that's what the women in the tribe used to do all the time, not from a place of disempowerment, but from a place of empowerment to get the word out about certain sketchy fellows or, you know, poisonous berries in this section of the woods or, you know, whatever the case may be. Oh, they just kept swooshing into the light. Oh my gosh, cool. Okay, so we have quite a list we're going to update. So Katie, well, Jessa technically was the first one to donate yesterday. And then it was technically Katie. Katie. And then Solar Siren. And then from there, I need to check my email to get the proper order of events here. Yes, Jessa from yesterday. And then we have Linda. Oh no, I missed somebody. Michelle Lynn. Michelle. With 2 reads. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Gitaleka. How are you doing? Yeah, feel free to donate. We're taking down our list right now. 2 full reads for her, and then Linda, and then let's see. And then Florence B and Marlene. That's the current list. Of course, you can still donate. Florence B, Marlene, aka Hey Hey. Yes, I know they have changed the handle. I think you can personally go into your settings and change it to whatever you want. Like if you don't want random numbers behind it or whatever, you know. Let's see. So, oh, we had another donation just come in. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, questions. Technically 2 questions. All right. So there's, well, you donated enough for more than 2 questions, but if we can break that down into however many today and potentially, I'm pretty sure we can get through all this. This is not like crazy long list. I would say that's at least, I don't know, that's at least 4 questions, probably. Probably more, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Okay. That's my current lineup. If you still want to donate, we can tack you onto the list. We're going to go ahead and start with Katie. That way I do not keep putting it off and then forget to timestamp for her. I will timestamp for her though. Oh no, Wrigley was in here writing all sorts of stuff, which is his prerogative. It's his bedroom. It's his desk. Oh, I did find a good one. Okay. So for the 213 live stream, we are at 49.20 for Katie. And I will go find her question. And we will try our very darndest here today to stick to our timer. So let me go to email. I have a lot of emails I need to delete. Okay, that was Tuesday. Okay, that's Wednesday. She donated Wednesday. Do you remember that now? Oh, here it is. Find it. Found it. Okay. So, hello, Amanda. I hope everyone is doing well. I am. Thank you so much. Okay. My grandma passed away. Oh no. Last Monday, February 3rd, and I would like a message from her, please. Her name is Dee. I will watch the live stream after work. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's always hard. It's like it passes that matriarchal torch to the next generation, which would be your, the females of the generation probably above you. And then that means you're next up on deck. Sometimes, like, I know when my own grandmother passed that I was like, I'm one generation removed from being like the matriarch of my family line, and it's like empowering but yet scary at the same time. It's a weird feeling. If your grandma passes away when you're young, like, it just kind of hits different than when you're in your 30s, 40s, and beyond, probably. Both of mine have now passed. One in 2020 and then one in 2024. One died at 90 in 2020, and the other one died at 97, almost 98. She almost made it to 98 in 2024. So it's been a minute now. All right. So, yes, let's set our timer. We're going to get a message from Katie's grandma to her. Any messages? We don't want any false entities parading around as Katie's grandmother, just her pure, true, divine spirit coming through for a untainted message from any matrix tricksters to Katie. What would Katie's grandmother like her to know right now? I already heard I'm safe, I'm okay. Wow, okay. So even if your grandmother's passing was chaotic or just felt like, weirdly enough, there may come out of the woodwork like family members or people that have like differing opinions about certain things. Even before her passing, if there were differing opinions about certain things, I see being able to move through these things very quickly. But interestingly enough, I love this symbolism here because it almost looks like, with the kind of lighting here, that this horse is on fire. Almost. It's kind of diluting the very fiery color that's of the shadowing or light, not the shadow, the light hitting this horse. We're in the year of the fire horse. And this horse is not just a horse, it's an alicorn, or not a unicorn, because it doesn't have a horn, but like an alicorn, like a flying horse. So it's almost like giving Sleeping Phoenix meets fire horse energy going on here. And Eight of Wands is about fast communication, or even communication from beyond the veil is very Eight of Wands energy. So she is sending you signs, symbols, synchronicities. There's a lot of lightning going on, which means very quick speed. Lightning to me is connected to electricity. There may be some electrical things that she's being able to manipulate. Even with such an early crossing, like she crossed over not that long ago, she has a lot of power access or ways that she can send other I'm seeing like guardians almost to get messages or memos to you. And both these cards are Wands cards. Lots of fiery energy, lots of oranges and yellows in this one as well, like fireball. And what we were saying earlier about like the matriarch passing the torch, this, weirdly enough, when my grandma passed or after, and now that your grandma has passed and after, it's almost like you can step even more fully into your spiritual gifts, whatever those are for you specifically, Katie. But let's just see. Let's go to the Oracle of the Seven Energies and see any specific messages or guidance from Katie's grandma to her. Ooh, into me, I see another 8. We have 8, 8, and then we have the 5 as well. But again, this is like almost like another layer of awakening for you. Just realizing that, her earthly essence is no longer here, but there is resonance or vibration or echo from her beautiful life that she lived and the amazing family that she created and even the mistakes she made, reverberating. But this is going to help you look even further into yourself, your purpose, your passions, what you're setting yourself out into the world to do, create, accomplish. It's almost like a fire has been lit beneath you as a result of her passing, or just subsequently in the coming years, because she is now passed, for you to be able to really embody your purpose and know thyself. Into me I see, know thyself. Because as within, so without. So if we can get to know ourselves intimately, inside and out, upside down, inside out, and backwards, we will know how to manipulate, quote unquote, reality to have the outside reflection reflecting what it is that we want from the inside. But a lot of us, especially when we're busy and just in the grind, we lose touch with what it is we truly want. A lot of us know at times, I don't want that, or I definitely don't want that. But when someone sits down and looks you straight into your spirit and is like, what do you want? Sometimes we almost stutter or get emotional because we can't quite dredge it up. Some can, like, instantaneously, but others are like, on the surface, I know I want a nice house and a decent car that's reliable, that gets me where I'm going, have healthy kids, and everybody's got food and clothing and all the necessities. But what does your spirit want? Like, what is it you're birthing into this reality by being incarnated right now? Like, these big questions may be coming up for you in the coming days, weeks, months, years, decades since your grandmother's passing. All right, let's get one of the Believe in Your Own Magic oracles. All right. Any other messages? She's very much wanting to focus this on you rather than on her. She's like, passing the torch is really what this is showing. So even if she was funny and quirky and spunky and outspoken in life, it's like in the afterlife, or whatever we want to call that, it's like she's in kind of a quiet contemplation and just ready to watch the torch of her legacy be carried. And it's not from that ego place of, what I built, they better not destroy, or whatever their accomplishments are, those are my accomplishments. No, she's very much stepping out of ego and into just divine presence in your future, your parents, your siblings, your, whoever it is that's directly related to her. It's like she's just a quiet guardian is what this feels like. All right. And then we have the throne. Your potential is endless. Yes, passing that torch. So there's some things that may potentially be closing out for you here in the next, I'm seeing like between now and like October, Halloween time. Cycles you're closing out to be able to step into this new energy of being able to sit on the throne of your own power, your own authority, your own, what does your spirit want? That's alive, coming alive in you in ways that maybe you could access fleetingly before, but now it's almost like you're having like direct access. Instead of having to go through like 4 messengers and a middleman and a manager and a whatever to get your message or your point, or to connect with someone who's so high up, it's like you have a direct link to your own inner self, higher self, is what this feels like. So again, it's not going to all happen overnight, but there may be some weird in a good way, like overnight, like downloads or spiritual gifts that come online, but it may be in the fallout of the following days, weeks, months that you're integrating them, that makes it feel like, okay, that wasn't overnight. Like it all downloaded overnight, but like now I'm clearing through the confusion of what all this means and getting the clarity of what this means. All right, that was for Katie. So now we're moving into Jessa's reading. Jessa, if you did not put your question into PayPal, go ahead and post it here in the chat. We'll get right into that for you. I kind of like the little system we've set up today because I was able to stay on par. Like I was already starting to wrap up the reading, and then it was the timer. So I think we'll try to get 2 to 3 tarot, 1 oracle of 7 energies, and then 1 believe in your own magic to kind of orchestrate these beautiful little divine feminine readings today. I did not plan to do that. That's just the structure that unfolded during Katie's reading, and it feels right for most of us today. Of course, more cards might fall out, and we will take them as they come. while trying to stick to our time limit. That's the hard part for me. Forget about trying to figure out what to say or the downloads. Like that stuff is just automatic. It's me sticking to the timer that's the hard part, which I guess is a good problem to have, right? Right. Okay. So solar siren, you are up, my dear. Yeah, like ripples in a pond. I love that. Oh, it's Divine Feminine Day. Let's get a message from my Divine Feminine Higher Self Opal today. Ooh, I love it. Okay. We're going to start with 2 to 3 tarot just to kind of tell the story, paint the picture. Ooh, this must be a theme today because it came out in Katie's reading, but the Sleeping Phoenix meets the Fire Horse. Elevation, fast-moving energy. Time already. We've been talking about this for years at this point on the live stream. Time is moving fast, but I heard time is of the essence. And look, you are getting a bigger picture because you're literally taking flight so you can see above the trees. You can see above the horizon line, over past the mountains, to the ocean, to the next place, past the ice wall, whatever, conspiracy corner. This is you being able to get that higher perspective. And as you get that higher perspective, the downloads don't stop. The downloads are just steady stream, steady stream. Oh, and I did not set the timer, so I will do that because we're trying to stay on target today. Woo! Okay, this all needs to come out. And it's more than, it's 4 total, so 3 together here. Ooh, another horse. We have the 6 of Wands, which is victory. You're literally guiding, directing, riding this horse, this fire horse, into victory. But this is a white horse. So you think white knight on a white horse. This is you being your own savior here. And there's almost like this opalescent, look at it. I thought at first it was white, but it's almost got some greens and purples and some shine to this flag here, very opalescent flag. Like this is very much giving K2 or past life energy here, or, who you are on a grander scale of spirit, opal being a facet of said overarching spirit. This is you being able to take the gifts, knowing, communication, just anything you need. Oh yeah, Kelpie's white. I love that. Being able to take what you need and stake your claim, place your flag. This is not a surrender. Yes, it is a surrender, but a surrender to opal, a surrender to your divine feminine. And also that staking of, I'm seeing in the movie Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. I think it's their very first movie ever together. Maybe their last. I can't remember if they ever had another movie together, but they moved to America and then they're like homesteading, and the first person, they're riding horses in that scene. Oh, that didn't even occur to me until just now. They're riding horses and they have a flag. And he's actually fighting this other guy over the same land. But I see you conquering. I see you staking the claim before anyone else can. And even if somehow, some way they try to take it away, they can't. Boom. Then we have the 4 of Cups. This is very much a dreamy, almost nebulous, no structure to things kind of vibe. So if you're feeling a little structureless, a little floaty, fleety, unsure of your next steps, with this energy, that's not going to last long. So if you do get into this energy, you've been in it, you're in it right now, or you'll be in it later this week or something, because those energies feel very similar, recent, past, present, and near future all feel almost like the same energy frequency to me when I read energy. That this too shall pass. This is not going to last very long, but also it is giving you the space, the breath of life to take a breath and figure out next steps. And it's not like figuring out next steps. It's more like these next steps are being downloaded and you're just like the blueprint, the map is just being put before you and you know what to do. And then we have the King of Cups. So this is very much, we were talking about divine feminine, now the divine masculine, the twin flame connection coming in. And this is like the Leviathan waking up. That's what I heard. Leviathan waking up. So the divine masculine is starting to wake up in ways as this divine feminine is allowed to rise. I won't even say allowed because that makes it feel like we're so disempowered in this matrix, but it's been suppressed. But now that us anchoring this energy that's coming in to assist and us holding more of our higher selves or true selves, true spirits, we are the ones dismantling this net. It's not like they're allowing us to do shit. This is us claiming our power back. But as we quote unquote look like we're allowed to rise, as you rise, so too shall divine feminine or divine masculine rise. Maybe not to the degree, but there's a lot of catching up to do here. Yeah, and you felt so heavily as of late. That makes total sense. So let's just see some guidance, wisdom, advice from Opal. Anything else Jessa needs to know right now, especially moving forward? Oh my God. Okay, the chaos. Another deck has hit the floor. Well, we have a good surprise coming. And it came right as I was trying. Do you hear all these cards falling? Okay, but I'm hearing divine chaos because the chaos agents of the Matrix were trying to scramble the signal. Ooh, I just saw the Chariot, which was car, another horse and rider. Holy cow, just everywhere. Wish fulfillment. All of these seem relevant, and we got a lot on the floor that I will deal with later. It's just not my priority right now. But we have the willing release. So as you let go of the past, you allow the past to fall away. We have a 49, which adds up to a what? For those in the back, a 13, which adds up to a 4, about creating a new stability, a new structure. Period. Because I'm like feeling into the white noise of what else? And it's like, no, period. They're slippery, and your cards are slippery too. Oh my gosh. All right. I almost said, let's get your bitch fire card, but that's my favorite card in this deck. But we're getting your, I always forget the name of it. Believe in your own magic. What does Jessa need to know? Message from Opal. And I hear Ruth out there grunting, getting comfortable. Okay, well, you get 2, 3. Holy cow. Wow. Okay. Gold. You're refining. I can't remember the Japanese name for it, but instead of throwing it away, they fuse it back together, a broken cup with gold, or a broken vase, or making it way more valuable than it was to begin with. You're refining something. You don't need that divine masculine to finally come online and get the ish together to be able to do what you need to do. Just you doing what you need to do because you need to do it, as that spark of spirit comes up and rises within you, almost checkmate forces this divine masculine to rise within you, but also within the actual divine masculine. We have the universe. We're all just stardust. 31, inverse of 13. Need I say more? And princess. You can be your own knight. Again, we were just talking about that knight and white knight on a white horse running in to save you. And then you are your own knight. You cannot make this ish up. You cannot make this ish up. Great place to stop, but I just want to repeat. You are your own savior here. You don't have to wait for, the astrology to shift a certain way, or, some corporate place to call you back, or Steven to do whatever Steven's doing. This is you just saying F all that. Like, hello. Oh yeah, that is your favorite movie. Yes. And didn't the witch or whatever it was try to capture the star, capture her power basically? And it backfired. It didn't work, if I remember correctly. Yeah, wow. Holy cow, that was powerful. Opal came with receipts today, and she threw them all over my floor. I love it. I love it. I just saw the death card. So there's a releasing, a purging, a letting go, which you've been doing, kind of decluttering and, releasing all this stuff from your past and, inner child, inner teen healing. You've been doing this work for a hot minute. Yep. Oh, yeah. All right. Up next, we have Michelle Lynn. 2 questions. I'm going to paste our list so we can keep it going. So Michelle, she may have posted them. Oh, she's got it. Look at her. Queen. Okay, she's got it ready to go. So we will just read it and then set our timer. Oops, go back to timer. Okay, I'm not starting the timer yet. We're going to get that in a minute. So general, near future, positive message from my higher self. Why am I being drawn to the gym crush? Does he feel the same? Curious if we had a past life. Is there anything I should know about this connection? Okay, I'm hearing the feeling is mutual. I'm already hearing that. Again, he just may not be yet in a place where it makes, I heard fiscal sense. I know that is a financial word. Financial sense, and also just material world sense for him to be in a relationship at this time. But that doesn't mean in the future he won't. But yeah, he's definitely noticed you. You've noticed him. And this energy, this tension, it's like a tension between you almost. Not in a bad way, but yeah, let's just see Positive message. Oh, actually, I think you had donated for 2. So let's just start with question 2 and then do question 1 right after. Because I was really drawn, especially to the gym crush question first and foremost. So I'm feeling the heat. I got to take off the sweatshirt. It is just stifling. All of a sudden, just rush of heat. Not hot flash, but like spiritual flash of heat that I get when I read sometimes. Not all the time, weirdly, but we're in the Divine Feminine portal. So like, whew, we're doing it. We're going. Okay. So yes, let's get some cards on specifically what is this tension or feeling between you. Okay, so this is about the crumbling of false selves or what does not need to be. It's almost like a Pluto energy of destruction of just you being in the vicinity of him or seeing him across the room at the gym or just thinking about him is almost acting as like this internal detonator of a tower or a Pluto. But listen up. This is perfect for this portal, this Divine Feminine portal, because it only takes away or strips away or crumbles what does not serve our spirit or what's out of spiritual alignment. Sometimes that can be like, I just heard trick nasty. I don't know what that even means. Feel trick nasty in the matrix because it might strip us of titles, of friendships, of connections, of things that our ego or human self was like, no, I needed that. Why would I want that to leave my life? But from a spiritual perspective, this thing was either harming you, hindering you, holding you back. Harming you, hindering and holding back are the same thing pretty much. But I'm hearing it like harming you, hindering, holding you back. Almost like a mantra that's going on in your mind. So anything that you personally on a conscious level know that is harming you, hindering you, or holding you back, this gym crush is allowing you to release these things, especially if they are, and I see 1212 on my clock, especially if they are somehow tied to your ego in any way, that is crumbling. Again, not because you're wrong or you don't deserve it, none of that. That's because it's somehow in dissonance or like a discord to your true spirit and what it is that you're here to do. But let's see. I spent a long time on just that aspect of it, but we're getting into it. Yes. Okay. There's the Divine Feminine herself coming in, and then the Ace of Pentacles is about a new beginning or a new, specifically relationship or career move in some way that is being affected, why you feel such a pull. And also that is absolutely confirming the past life connection here. Anything else Michelle needs to know about why she feels so drawn to this gym crush and past life and anything else? Oh, itchy nose. There's good luck coming in. And then we have great big love. Oh my God. What? We have the number 26, which adds up to an 8, which is very quick, very purpose-driven, very fiscally responsible. 8s are all about financial abundance and gain. And with that Ace of Pentacles, it's like there's something business related here as a potential. But great big love. This is not just some crush. This has potential here to build into something. It's not a guarantee, especially with the dismantling of this false, matrix or these false structures, these false partners, because very much of the cross of planning, one of the big systems that's also getting a big facelift is like marriage, partnership, what the nuclear family has been since, however back, or that's all getting a big facelift in the cross of the sleeping phoenix. We even have wings. It's almost giving phoenix energy within this heart here. We just can't escape. I think it's an owl. I'm really looking at the feathers in the bottom part of the heart here. And these are almost like owl's wings. I don't know. But it's like higher wisdom. This is a higher love, a great big love. And I'm hearing that song. I think it's by Phil Collins, A Higher Love. Make me a higher love. It's from the 80s or 90s. But this is not just settling for like this ego-based, like, ooh, I'll look so, and again, not on your part, but more on his part, like, ooh, I'll look so good with that sexy lady on my arm, or like he's having some ego death things going on. And there may even be something in the business that he does that's like closing out a cycle or crumbling as well. All right. Anything else Michelle needs to know about this connection and moving forward? Start a revolution. We have protest. We have the number 28, new beginning. I'm going to get a tarot clarifier on this because it's like again, this feels like almost a protest of, or banding together. Oh, I'm already getting it. These trying times that we're in, the systems are falling. This may be some sort of in or way of bonding together. Maybe you're talking about current events and you feel like you have the same kind of outlook on life or morals, or just like you agree. And then there's the confirmation, yes, clarity, and a lot of mentally stimulating conversations about the crazy that is running our world. So that could be kind of your in with him as far as breaking the ice, if that makes sense. I'm seeing now like King Arthur pulling the sword from the stone. Wow, very cool. All right. So Michelle's second question, which we can roll right into after I put all these back. I like to stagger them back in so they don't all come out in a clump, and we know if they come out together again that it was really meant to be. Because that skeptical part of me, if all 3 or 4 of the cards came flowing out again, I'd be like, well, I just put them all back in together so they fell out together. That makes sense. But the skeptical part of my brain gets turned off if I stagger them back in, because that's even more difficult for them to all come out again if they need to, That's just my logical way of explaining why I do what I do. All right. Next question for Michelle. Life in general, near future, positive message from her higher self. Weirdly, we're going to start with this as the theme. I didn't know that till just now, but that's what we're doing. All right, Michelle's positive message from higher self. Ooh, in perfect harmony. This is a very relationship card, or you're in sync with someone, and in sync is like a band music. Kind of more of a pun than like a literal message about in sync, but you're feeling like there may even be just the heat that's coming in. There may be some burning of just old karmas or old energies that don't need to be in your field anymore, Michelle, because I'm feeling that this is very much tied to you and your energy, this heat that's rising in my body. I'm like a physical medium at times of in when I'm divinating for people. But this definitely feels like you being able to almost hear the music or hear the frequency of change, winds of change. Because yes, we hear the music, but it's usually going on air waves, as they call it. Let's get the tarot in the mix and see. Near future message. So you're going to be able to hear the change in the wind, or know intuitively, especially through that clairaudience and claircognizance, when to make a shift, when to make a change, even if it's something small like dietary changes or restrictions, or new workout routines, or just kind of closing off your energy from a certain coworker because they're like an energy vampire and you're like, I don't need that in my life. Like, you're just going to know when to move, when to shift, when to sing a song, and when to have the silence. You're going to know. It's a very psychic time coming up for you, and very intuitive, and very light. Your lie detector is like going off like crazy. Even if someone's telling a white lie, you can pick it up like that. Anything else Michelle needs to know about the near future, positive messages from her higher self? Ooh, okay. This came out earlier, so I was already like, are these two questions just completely intertwined in some way? I think so. I really think so. It had to come out again, so there she is. But again, there may even be certain music you're listening to, or just the songs that you feel gravitated toward, or if you hear a song in your mind, you go Google it, look at the lyrics, you listen to it. It's almost like the frequency of said music, even if that wasn't the intent of the artist, is somehow breaking through the noise of the busyness, of the distraction of the everyday life, to be able to allow you to slough off what no longer serves you. So music, you may even create your own little soundtrack of life for the near future for yourself, of like maybe even like a new workout playlist, or just driving to work playlist, or just I'm just living my best life playlist. And then we have the 23, which is very in the death card, which you're on the back. I'm not counting that as one of your cards, but it's underlying energy of something needs to go, so that you can I'm seeing like I'm seeing like a snake that needs to shed the skin, which, very much snakes really do represent that number 13, death and rebirth, shedding of the old, birth the new. But this is about, again, the chaos of the nightmare that is the 3D matrix collapsing, because it's not roses and rainbows and butterflies. It's heavy, it's dark, but your light, the music of your spirit, is kind of lighting the way for you, or kind of, it's more of a sound or a knowing rather than seeing is believing for you coming up. But you're burning through this just old gunk. And even just having the, so just say for like, just one scenario, say just you have this gym crush and it never goes anywhere, just for the sake of one potential scenario. Still, you having this crush, think of any time you've had a crush or felt like you were in love. It's not even that we're in love with the other person. Yes, we are, but like it's more of an internal feeling. You can't, I mean, many people have written love songs and painted and written stories to try to embody or encapsulate. Now it's 1221, the inverse of the 12 that we had earlier. The feeling of love. But we can't. I just accidentally closed. Oh, there we are. Good, we're good. It's so hard to put into words or sounds or whatever, because it feels like it's filling us up from the inside out. So even if this gym crush doesn't ever go anywhere beyond a crush, that energy alone is allowing you to fall back in love with yourself, your life, your career, your hobbies, your talents, your gifts, your spiritual evolution, whatever that looks like. Let's get our Believe in Your Own Magic card. Anything else? Message from Michelle's higher self to herself for the near future. We have spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. We cannot ignore the elephant in the room. All the music, all the notes. Look at that. So singing, even if you don't sing in perfect harmony, or do, either way, this is you just singing along, either really well or poorly, however you fall on that spectrum, is unlocking things in your energy field. It's like vibrating out what no longer serves you, because you're finding that that feeling of joy within you, kind of using this crush almost as like the furnace or the fuel to kind of like put that pep in your step, or make you want to level up and grow. And it's not, I mean, on the surface, it may look like you're trying to do this to impress him, or maybe that feels like that's my motivation. I want to impress him. But at the deep core root of it, your spirit brought forward this crush at this time to give you that illusion of maybe potentially doing it for someone or something outside of you. But in fact, it's you just falling back in love with yourself and seeing where the things don't feel leveled up or that feel very stagnant in your current energy, so that you can vibrate higher, level up, and start growing again. That's powerful and potent. And it's very spiritual with that 43, which adds up to a 7. So I love that. So it feels very much intertwined. It's almost like, your crush will continue. And again, it's not set in stone that this is going to be an absolute love of your life or just a crush. It feels like you have more control, though, over that than you think you do, whatever direction you want to go with this crush. All right. So that was Michelle's reading. And now, and then we have the lovers. Can't make this up, on the back of the deck. But, at the heart of the lovers, it's about a decision, a choice. You're actively making these choices or decisions to level up and grow, because ultimately within your spirit, it's the right thing for you to do at this time, regardless of crush or no crush. But the crush is almost acting as that fuel, like that. I'm seeing like the engine room or the coal room in the Titanic. Not that it's going to end the same way, but like, something that's so big, because that card that came out in the reading before was like a great big love or something like that, which, the Titanic was like the biggest ship of the day, right? Back in the day. Oh, and weirdly enough, now that I said Titanic, and maybe that it's not going to end the same, I do see that potentially there were spiritual connections between you and him having something to do with Titanic. I'll just put that out there. Past life potential connection there. Oh my gosh. He reminds me of the summer and the sun. As cheesy as that sounds, that doesn't sound cheesy at all. I love that. Yeah. It's more of what he represents. He represents freedom and possibility to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. So regardless, it's looking like a win in your favor, regardless of what happens with him, just because of the feeling you feel thinking about him or just having this crush. It's really beautiful. Oh, you were thinking about that movie yesterday too? Oh my gosh. Well, hello. Synchronicity. I love when that happens. So cool. Okay, up next. Oh, and Get to Lekka has also donated, so we will add you to our running list here. So Linda, we're going to go ahead and get your question going, my dear. And then it looks like Florence has posted hers. So when we're ready to get into hers, that's perfect. It's already there. We're going to add Get to Lekka to our list. It's funny how quickly these go when I actually stick to the timer for once in my life. It really is. I mean, yeah, look at that. We're just cooking. Okay, I will update our list. So Florence will be on deck. She already has her question out, so no worries there. So we're going to move into Linda's question. Let me copy my list so I have it for next round. Okay. So Linda, question about what I need to focus on this year for my highest growth. What do I need to know right now to make 2026 a stellar year? Yay. Well, I want to say it's already happened this week or it's happening the day of the eclipse. I can't remember. I've been on like research binge mode lately with all this eclipse stuff. So I have notes, but the year of the fire horse is kicking off. Either will be, or is on the day of the eclipse. I want to say it is the day of the eclipse. I think it is that the year of the fire horse takes root. Chinese New Year, because I do believe Chinese New Year, correct me if I'm wrong, someone want to Google it, feel free. Chinese New Year and the solar eclipse, I think both fall on the 17th. So we're having this like final installation of this cross of planning moving into, yeah, it is the day. Okay, perfect. No wonder, because this eclipse is happening in the cross of the sleeping phoenix, on the solar node of the cross of the sleeping phoenix. To have an eclipse on the node of the new energy we're moving into for the next 400-year cycle, that is not a coincidence. It's not small change. This is big stuff. Big stuff. Like our whole worlds are going to change, and that can be very scary. Just tuning into the frequency of just the collective, it feels very much ungrounded. The foundations have collapsed and people are scrambling. But those of us that already kind of see the writing on the wall and are already built for a new time, that's why we've been born at this time. And many of us have struggled the first part of this incarnation up until 2027 in a lot of ways. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, in relationships, in careers, in things with our family, all of the above or some of the above or just a sprinkling of a buffet of whatever. We've really struggled as humanity in a lot of ways. And not to say we won't struggle in the future, we will, I'm sure, but just in different ways. And we will start to find our footing and our foundation and our strengths in a lot of ways that we just did not have access to in the underlying energy of the cross of planning that we're now going to be like moving, like pioneer energy. Pioneers, you're a pioneer, because I felt like talking about that even before your reading, which we read the question. We haven't started the timer yet. We haven't gotten into the reading yet. But then you were the one to clarify, yes, I think it is on the 17th. So hello. Yes, so that's really going to go double for you right there, Linda. Weirdly enough, we're going to start with this one for you. So message about what Linda needs to focus on this year for her highest growth in alignment with her true spirit, what she needs to know right now to make 2026 a stellar year. We have Escapist. Come home to yourself. And then the 32, which again, that's that chaos energy of the 5, but it's also very venturous and like breaking out of the box. Like you're not holding yourself to just this little standard here. Ooh. So this is happening basically within a 1-degree orb of your sun. This is huge, Linda. Like this is not just, oh, I might feel some effects. Like, no, this is huge. And not the bad effects even. It's because this energy is going to support the next 400-year cycle. This is the benefits of this. And even if there are some downsides to it, you're going to have the strength and the like almost psychic premonition to know when those low points are coming so that you can cushion yourself for any kind of fall. It's a very powerful thing. It's like you're escaping the matrix during this time. So those low lows aren't going to affect you. they're just not in the ways that they're maybe going to affect your neighbors, your friends, family members, other people in your life. So it's almost like you're an anchor into this new energy, and not just in this unstable new energy, but it's almost like you're stabilizing this new energy to be able to. So you at least have one, if not more, of those gates associated with the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix. If your birthday is that close to, I think the gates will switch every 6 days. You're within 6 days of that. So I would go out on a limb and say you have some of that just in your DNA blueprint of revolution, rebellion, escaping this old energy and coming home to your true authority of you being able to call the shots for your future. And I just heard rest of your life, best of your life, which I hear that from time to time here. So it's not rare, but it's good to hear that, isn't it? And a solar return. I mean, it's potent. These are potent degrees on your sun in your chart. Huge, huge, huge energy. All right. What else does she need to know about making this a stellar year? I just heard kicking ass, taking names, and has the receipts. Yes. All these conflicts, chaos, all this stuff, especially that's been going on in your life since 2020. And even back, like 2021 especially, but I would say even as far back as 2020. So 2020 being kind of an anchor point of this energy, but then 2021 was 5 years ago from now. It may have had 2020 date because we're not like, say, at October of 2026 yet. So it might be October of 2020 you were dealing with something. I don't know why I chose that month specifically. Maybe it's for a reason. Maybe it was just an example. I don't know. But this is you almost, I'm seeing this almost as a future version of the Eight of Swords. You know how there's all those swords around and they've got the binds and the blindfold on. I'm seeing this as almost a dismantling of that Eight of Swords and moving in reverse to the Five of Swords of, okay, now that I'm mostly free, I am ready for any attack that comes my way. This is normally a card of no winners, but I'm going to pull the clarifier because I am seeing the exact opposite for you. A lot of loss and chaos. Yeah. And yeah, for sure. And then the Four of Pentacles. Wow. I actually really love this. This is funny because I want to pull a clarifier on the Five of Swords. And then this is my card I always like to pull a clarifier on because it's so dualistic. It's like I'm either hoarding my resources or I'm spending my money because it's burning a hole in my pocket and I don't have any. So I'm going to pull yet a further clarifier, but I'm seeing so much peace here. There's so much peace in the chaos, in the fray. And it's almost like a countdown from the 5, 4. Oh, wait a second. I'm like, I heard 3, 2 in my head. And then I look down, there's a 3, 2 card. 5, 4, 3, 2. If we get a 1, I'm going to lose. I'm going to flip my lid, but we probably won't. But anyway, for the sake of Linda's true spirit, what needs to come through is the clarifier for the Four of Pentacles. You get 2. We got a 1. Ace. You can't make this up, but we did get 2. And then we have the Teacher, which takes us to the 5 again. So it's like starting the cycle over, but from this place of enlightenment, because you've learned everything you need to know, and now you can teach other people the way. She's literally holding it's almost like a torch, but it's like a glowing scepter. I'm speechless. Holy cow. Hello. New opportunities. There are going to be a lot of new opportunities, and I'm hearing financial opportunities that may not look like, again, speculation going on here. With the collapse of these old systems, we all know that the Federal Reserve and the system that was set up in 1913 moving forward, has not really, it hasn't been working in our favor. But I think most people's fear is, well, what about the money that I do have? Is that just going to dissolve and disappear? I hear absolutely not. But again, it may be that you're creating assets in more. I always get this wrong. Is it liquid? I think liquid is when it's money, and then something more. Can't remember the other. But it's like maybe you're buying gold and silver. Maybe you're bartering. Instead of exchanging money for goods and services, you're bartering with somebody or trading services or something like that. You're finding a new way forward. It's very Uranus energy here. Let's go to our Oracles of 7 energies. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it just turned to 5. Yeah, lift off. So we were having a countdown. Now we're having a count up to something really exciting. But let's get your last card. Anything else to make this a great year for Linda? Great and full. Well, we had the 5, remember the teacher, and now we're counting down again to some real good blast off with the, and this is the Ace of Cups. You got the Ace of Coins or Pentacles here as well. So you're going to know intuitively, this is a very intuitive card. This is also a pregnancy card, or just pregnant with possibility, pregnant with ideas, a project you're looking to get off the ground. Especially with this combination, you have a lot of great ideas that are just flowing through your energy field. And it's up to you if you choose to pluck some of these out of the ether and start working on them, or solidifying them, or grounding them into the 3D reality, or 4D, 5D, whatever we want to call this reality we're kind of moving into. And then you have the Magician on the back of the deck. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You already have all the tools you need. It's just about, over these next days, weeks, months, year, assembling your team, basically, of you already have, like, everything you need is within you. It's just about knowing intuitively when to pick up the pentacles, when to pick up the cups, when to pick up the wand, and then when to pick up a sword. Like, you're going to intuitively know ahead of time. It's not like you have, like, in the spur of the moment, you're like, oh no, what do I do? Like, you're going to feel like the winds of change, as we were kind of talking about, I think, in Michelle's first reading there. You're going to already have this psychic sense of something shifting, something's changing. I just feel weirdly enough like I need to pull my investments over here, or start investing something over here, or not just financially, but, like, you know, with certain people in your life, certain connections you've been spending a lot of time on, maybe someone you feel that's kind of been on your back burner. You're like, oh, I just feel like I need to call that person. Like, just follow your intuition is basically your best path forward this year. Follow your intuition, because it's, as we know, Linda, you're very intuitive. You're already on point. But look, you had that great and full, and you have the bearing fruit on the back. So your abundance is just waiting in the wings. It's just for you ready to realize it's there and unlock it and start claiming it as your own. It's been picking up. I've been alert to more signs. Oh my gosh. Isn't that crazy? In the best possible way. Yes. Wow. I cannot believe the numerology of your reading. That blew my mind. I love that. All right. So Florence, you are next. So we're going to go back up to her question. I hear Ruth out there digging around. Okay. So Florence, just let me know you're here, but I will timestamp just in case. We're at 1:37:10. Okay. And your question is, we'll read the question, then we will start our timer. So Itchy Nose, good luck coming in. So would like to know if I have a destiny regarding a future long-term partner, husband, like what kind of relationship, if we have a shared mission, children, and at what point he will come into my life. Okay, I'm already hearing, Florence, that the timelines are severely unstable as this shifting of energy is taking place. So the timing of it is going to become, you guys have heard me say that time's like a rubber band, blah, blah, blah. Timing predictions are basically becoming almost obsolete, because as we gain more access to our own spirit, our own divine feminine energy, the matrix frequency is losing its grip. We are going to be starting to be the dictators of the timing of things, more so than outside circumstances, planetary alignments, and all the BS that has been kind of acting as these systems in place to tell us when we can jump and how high and all the fun things. We are going to start being, doling out our own timing is what I'm seeing here. And timing, we're going to be able to start speeding it up or slowing it down at will. And many of us have already started to dip into this when you're like, oh, I just wish I had more time. And then you're like doing something and you just somehow find just enough time to get that thing done. Or like, oh my gosh, I just wish this would be over already. And before you know it, boom, it's over. We are already starting to feel like we have more control over time than we once did. So take that as a benefit. But let's go ahead and get our party started, our timer started. Florence would like to know if she has a destiny regarding a future long-term partner, husband, and what kind of relationship you will have. Ooh, King of Wands. There is your confirmation. It is a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's on fire. Look at that. So most likely you're again, timing, take it with a grain of salt, please. Most likely this is going to happen after February 15th or on or after February 15th, 2027, because that's when we are officially in that energy of the crostal sleeping Phoenix as the underlying energy for the next 400 years of our calendar time. But King of Wands, that's masculine energy. Sun, moon, or rising looks like this person is going to have those fire signs. That's going to be your Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So what does this relationship look like? And if they have a shared mission, children, at what point he will come into, well, again, the timing of it will be after that time. Shared mission. Okay. 9 of Swords. So there may be a lot of shared past trauma, but as this is past trauma and you're not sharing it together, but maybe you're sharing it with each other as far as like, oh, this happened to me. You know, when you get to know people, you say the good things and then you start to unpack the baggage from the past, like as you get deeper into a connection with somebody. But you're going to both realize very early into this connection that you've done a lot of healing from those past, that it's not just going to sit there and like be like this like dark cloud or dark shadow over, okay, well, I got cheated on once, 20 years ago, and now I'm still like, you're going to cheat on me, aren't you? Like, no, you've put those wounds to bed. You've rested or alchemized or transmuted those wounds into empowerment and realize that, well, okay, if for some reason you did cheat on me, then this isn't meant to be. Peace out. You're just taking your power back from your past traumas instead of giving those past traumas or people that traumatized you authority over your future and your connection with this person. You're taking that power back. And so it has, this husband figure has taken his power back from past connections to where it's not going to negatively impact his connection with you. Let's just ask about potential children. All right. Ooh, we have the Empress. There's the mother card. So if you want to become a mother, again, the timing, and not even just the timing of things, but the things themselves, the goals, the aspirations themselves, you have more power and control into this next year, moving forward over the next 400 years, which if we could live that long, that'd be great. Probably won't, but we can dream. You're going to have much more power and control over the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. Not just the when and the timing of it all, but all the other questions. The how a lot of times is usually left up to the universe, but the what, the where, the when, and the why. The how can be left to the universe. So what, where, when, why can be left up to you. I love that. Okay, let's get some additional guidance, especially like mission, your shared mission. What is like the mission statement of your connection with this person and the life you're creating together? Ooh. Okay, so I'm taking top and bottom of this huge stack that fell out. Oh, we have sacred reverence. It's like divine masculine, divine feminine coming together. Your lock is his key is your lock. It's like you complete each other, but yet at the same time, you're whole and complete within yourselves to where 1 + 1 = 3. And you've maybe heard me say that before. It's almost like you coming together with him equals this beautiful gem jewel heart that the energy of the combined two of you can unlock and unleash into the world in a beautiful way. So yes, most likely this does revolve around having children, maybe a business that you're creating together. And then we have it is what it is. So this is about acceptance for where you're at. But we have the divine feminine 6 here. I love that. The 3-3 energy coming together, like that mastery of the divine feminine coming together. So it is what it is. I want to get a clarifier on this. It is what it is. So it's almost like an acceptance, but not that fatalistic, like, I guess I'm a victim of the matrix. I guess I'm a victim of my past with that 9 of Swords. But this is an acceptance of, yeah, that crap happened to me, but I am my own steward of my future and my present. Yeah, again, you're literally claiming it back. And funny, because now you have a feminine and masculine on deck. So there's a husband and wife dynamic right there. I love that. Oh my gosh, how cool. Let's get a Believe in Your Own Magic card for Florence. Anything else she needs to know about this husband-partner connection? Okay. 1 + 1 = 3. 1, 2, That equals 3, 21. But we have the Clover card, release your guilt. Again, this is a big part of, where is that? 9 of Swords. You have done this. There may be little reverberances or echoes of past stuff, but it's not going to be enough to override, derail, sabotage your relationship with this person. It'll be something that if it does come up, you guys can work through it together and then on to the next. Like, it's not anything that's going to derail you as long as you don't keep that energy of guilt, because guilt, shame, these are some of the lowest vibrations that we can hold. I think the very lowest is lust, and it's not that like, oh, I think you look good, not that kind of lust, but like that, like lecherous, like I want to consume you kind of lust is like the lowest vibration we can be in. And most of us that are watching this, I'd say probably all of us that are watching this, have never actually been in that vibration in this incarnation. We don't have access to it, and not because we can't. It's because our vibration already, we came in too high to even dip into below the low lows of shame and guilt. We have no need, care, or concern to dip into lust, those of us in this incarnation right now that are watching this. And we haven't dipped into that. I'm not saying in past lives we haven't, but not in this life for sure. Okay. Yeah, because lust is different from libido. You can go look them up if you are confused as to what one means versus the other. Because lust is basically a complete matrix hijacking of your creative life force energy or your libido, which I think it was Freud or Carl Jung, one of those. It was like the libido is the creative life force. They didn't just say libido as in derive, if you know what I mean. I'm just little ears that might be listening. You know what I'm saying. All right. I hope that resonated for you, Florence. It looks really good. Again, there's just maybe, again, this grace period or waiting period, but you're really refining who you are and doing your healing and just tuning into your spirit and your soul in the meantime to just be your best version, not for the sake of this partnership that is in your future, but just for the sake of your own spirit. Like, you're just embodying your greatest version. I love that. All right, Marlene. Marlene is next. So let's see. Oh, she is here. Hi. You're so welcome, Linda. I didn't see that until just now. You're so welcome. Anytime. Thanks again, everybody, for your lovely donations. Thank you for this wonderful reading. Oh, you're so welcome. I mean, we got like direct hit on, especially like the really amazing connection and then the children thing. If you want them, they are yours. There they are. I mean, if it's only that easy, right? Yeah. But once you are on your path, which sounds like you already are, the next step, they're just going to fall into place. All right. For Marlene, any message from my higher self about how I can level up in my life? I am loving these questions today. They're very much attuned to the divine feminine frequency. If you guys really look at your questions that you've had today and then the insight that came forward, they're very much attuned to this divine feminine Friday the 13th portal. I love that. All right. Let's start with tarot for Marlene. Message from her higher self about how she can level up in alignment with her true spirit. No matrix interference. What say you, true spirit of Marlene? Ooh, we have the King of Cups. This is about being balanced in emotions, but there's a waking up. Again, that Leviathan, waking up and reclaiming, being able to reclaim what was stolen, lied to, cheated on. Very 7 of Swords energy that you're able to reclaim or reap good karma from past bad karmic deeds that someone committed against you, past lives, this life, moving forward. You're going to be able to balance those scales emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, because there's a lot that's been taken from you, not just in this life, but in past, energetically, financially, just people being mean, that is owed back to you with interest. Paid in full is what I'm hearing. Wow. I love that. I love that for you, Marlene. Anything else? Message from higher self on how Marlene can level up. So it's almost not forgiving them so much, but just instead of being super angry about certain things, you're transmuting or processing the emotions about specific, really big things that you are still like we all still to this day have our panties in a twist about something that happened in the past, whether it's in our conscious mind or subconscious. It's in our energy field. And that is still the less vestiges of the anchors that the false matrix can hold on to, are these panties in a twist that we have somewhere in our energy field. So it's up to us, either just allowing them to naturally come up, or if we're going to go on a fact-finding digging mission, we can go find those things, dig them up, so that this negativity can no longer anchor into us. So you may be doing a lot of just processing of the past, or just saying as a general statement to your life, anything in the past that is still negatively impacting or harming me, it needs to come up and it needs to exit stage left. I'm over it. I'm done. It's not allowed in my field anymore. That can be a ritual. You can light a candle. You can just say the words out loud, whatever feels like it resonates for you. But there's like a direct, I guess, homework assignment from your spirit as far as to how you can move through and move forward and level up, to let all these things that are anchoring your beautiful hot air balloon to the ground, and allow you now to start rising. Higher frequencies, better opportunities, just a better version of you that is in there, but it's just under this layering of the false that's been put upon you, or that you've maybe used to build, kind of almost like a safety shelter to save you or help you from these negative energies or forces. Anything else for Marlene from her spirit? Leveling up. Yes, allowing yourself, this is like a mini death card here, allowing yourself to move beyond. And look, we've got like dark wings here, just like almost like I'm seeing like in a video game, there were certain ones, I don't know what one specifically, maybe you do, Marlene, if you have any of that knowledge, where when your character, you lose the life of the character. And then like, I remember one game I played years and years ago, the character, it was almost like a little ghosty with wings that came up, and then you were back to, you got a life again. It's almost like a near-death experience, but again, this is more internal death moment, not like a physical, literal death moment. Realizations of where maybe you've been holding yourself back, others have been holding you back, and you're just saying enough's enough. Anything else for Marlene? Leveling up. Yeah. And this may have even to do with just dynamics between you and your husband. But that doesn't mean it's all bad or all good. And, every relationship has its ups and downs and dynamics that we wish we could change or fix or tweak in some way. But this is letting you know that you, especially with this masculine Leviathan coming online in union with this divine divine feminine energy that's rising just naturally right now, you're going to be able to make some really big, awesome, life-changing decisions with you and your spouse that are going to move both of you as a level up in a lot of ways that you can't even fathom or process right now. All right, what else for Marlene? Leveling up, message from her higher self. Ooh, here it is. Wish upon a star. And we have the number 39, which adds up to a 12, which adds up to a 3. So this is very star card, which the star is the number 17, 8 energy. Almost like instant manifestation, but it's going to feel instant compared to the way the manifestation of the cross of planning has been working, especially because we're moving into this. We're already hearing the echoes of the vibration of the future of this cross of the sleeping phoenix energy coming in, to where not just you, Marlene, but everybody that is kind of more attuned to this energy is going to start to be able to manifest much quicker than we did in the more dense cross of planning. You have to run it through some higher authority before you're allowed to shine energy. We're moving out of that. And especially you, Marlene. So wish upon your heart, wish upon a star to your heart's content, because you're going to be able to elevate yourself in ways that you haven't before. Because again, there's that tethering that was going on with your energy that you're boom, boom, boom. You're just snapping the cords of all those tethers to be able to start moving up. I've just been searching for truth within myself since forever, and it's tough, but work with the baby steps are constant. Yeah. They're going to feel like instead of taking a baby step moving forward, it's going to be more of a leap. It's like you're leaping from stone to stone across this great big river, and you're supported and you're guided and you're protected across. Right. Anything else? All right on time. Anything else for Marlene? How she can level up in alignment with her true spirit. Sundress, do it for you. And then number 41, Again, it's not always going to feel like rainbows and butterflies as you move into these deeper aspects of who you are on a true spiritual wavelength. But this is letting you know, oh, confusion over who's invited to Trump's meeting with the governors. Oh, I don't even have these kind of notifications on my computer, and something from Apple News just popped up. That was weird. Something about, so it's almost like as you are doing these things for you, there's a lot of like external noise, news, distractions that are trying to knock you off your high horse. But you, Marlene, have the ability and the power to realize that when you need to know something, you will know it. You don't have to go searching for all this news or, oh, this crazy stuff, especially in the world that we're moving into. It's a better world. Let's just put that out there. But it's going to feel really scary and chaotic because the old world is literally dying in front of us. As we transition to this new, and we all know the old energy we've been in of the false matrix is bad. We don't want to be in it anymore. But like also it's been a comfortable cage for a lot of us in a lot of ways as well. So it's almost like we're dismantling our own false beliefs, our own, especially around ourselves and especially around yourself, Marlene, especially in ways that you suppressed your light or didn't feel good enough, couldn't be seen, couldn't be heard, or didn't feel seen or heard, even though you were speaking and shouting from the rooftops and people just could not hear it. That voice is going to start to echo out. The people are actually going to start to pick up that frequency. And I see like some sort of following. So I don't know if this is on a social media or you're starting a business and you're getting a lot of clients or customers, but something that you have known for a very long time. This may have been a wish or a dream that you've had since a very young child. You were a very young child. That you're going to be able to see through into, past 2027 and beyond. But you're kind of just now setting the groundwork or getting the ideas for this right now and into the rest of this 2026. All right. So I hope that resonated for you, Marlene. All right. Yeah, that's something I was going to say in the beginning. I was going to talk about it tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's live stream, the eclipse special. That was one of the things I was trying to say, and then I went off on another tangent and forgot it. On February 15th, 2027, we will move into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. But on February 1st of 2027 next year, I moved from a Mercury Mahadasha, and a Mahadasha is like a span of time that is basically your underlying energy of yourself. I've been in Mercury Mahadasha the last 17 years. Before that, I was in the Saturn Mahadasha for 23 years. And then my first 8 years of life, I was in Jupiter Dasha. Well, I'm moving into K2 Dasha, which is everybody's like, that's the scary one. That's the worst one. You lose everything. But what they fail to remember is you only lose what's out of alignment for you. And yeah, obviously my housing situation is out of alignment for me. So most likely during the next 7 years after February 1st of next year, I will be moving house. I will moving to a different house. I will lose the current residence, not lose, but like I will no longer be sleeping in this house anymore, but somewhere else. But for the people who are doing the work, doing the spiritual work, when you enter that K2 Mahadasha, if you ever do, my husband probably won't live long enough to enter his, and I won't live long enough to probably enter my Rahu, which starts when I'm 96 years old, which is okay by me. It's fine. But this is the scary one. Well, my sister was in this K2 Mahadasha during her childhood when we lost our house to a fire. I was in Saturn Dasha during that time, which Saturn rules my 4th house of home. So of course, uproot, yeah. But yeah, for her, K2 or the South Node, Mahadasha was, it wasn't all bad, but like she didn't have a lot of control over her own authority during that time because she was a child and she was living under my mom's roof and then my dad's roof some of the time, when we were kids. But I'm going to be in my 40s going into 50s through this 7-year K2 Dasha. So I'm going to be, not to say it's all going to be rainbows, roses, and butterflies, but my K2 is in the 3rd house of communication. So my communication is going to go from my 8th house Mercury communication to my 3rd house K2, where I'm literally pulling, and it's my 3rd house has Lilith. And we all know, if you know about Lilith, you know about Lilith. If you don't, you can Google it. I've got Lilith and Neptune conjunct the galactic center in Mula Nakshatra. And then farther up in my third house, I have Ketu in Purvashada Nakshatra, ruled by Venus. So it's going to be a very come to collect, and the communication that I'm giving out is not anything logical like Mercury in my 8th house Mahadasha has been. Me going into this research mode, investigating, and then knowing it within my heart because I heard it from outside me, but also especially during my Mercury Mahadasha with the K2 Antardasha, that was the time I was getting download after download after download without knowing. And ever since that dasha, Antardasha of K2 in my Mercury, it never stopped. So I am like almost scared, but like in a good way, about what this K2 Mahadasha can mean, about pulling that energy. And I did learn yesterday, you can't make this stuff up. We're just taking a brief intermission, everybody, I guess, because I'm talking. Oh, his Y game is canceled tonight. Okay, so we don't have to rush out the door at 5 p.m. tonight. Okay, good. I mean, bad, but good. Anyway, so I was just Googling the degree of my K2, my past life gifts and energy, and all the past life stuff is contained within your K2 or South Node in your chart. My K2 is at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. And at 22 degrees, like closer to 22 than 21 degrees of Sagittarius, is Lyra, the planet Lyra. Well, my original, I feel like that's my original incarnation point. The lion beings, I mean, hello, with this mane, apparently I needed to remind myself in this life that I'm part of the lion. My Aruda Lagna, which is kind of how the public sees you, in my chart is in Leo, but I don't have a lot of other things in Leo. But Leo is ruled by the sun, which is exalted in the 7th house, so red hair. In Bharani Nakshatra is a big component of red hair. A lot of people with red hair have Bharani Nakshatra somewhere prevalent in their sun, moon, or rising. But the funny thing is, I was analyzing things. I'm like, wow, so my past life is literally connected to Lyra, and the original wound of the Lyra line is the whole planet was literally blown up and destroyed. So you can't go back again. You can't go back. It's literally gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And then from there, they spread out to Sirius and the Pleiades and Arcturus and all these other, starseed location points. But the funny thing is, I was showing this to Versha earlier today. So after Judy died, my dog, my soul dog, my spirit dog, I loved that dog so much. When we got Ruth, well, we got Arthur first, which I was like, okay, that's my husband's dog because he had Walter, I had Judy. He has Arthur, I have Ruthie. It rhymes almost. I will show. The funny thing is, so Purvashada Nakshatra, the color that represents that nakshatra is black. K2 represents dogs in your chart. I always have had black dogs, not always, not everyone, but everyone that I've personally has been my dog, not just my mom's dogs or my family's dogs, has been my dog, has been a black dog ever since I was 8 years old. When I got my very first dog, that was my dog, Muffy. Her name was Muffy. I've always had black dogs. I had Muffy first, then I had lots of family dogs that were black, but then my second dog that was mine personally only was Judy, and third, Ruthie. Also, Walter and Arthur are also my dogs, both black dogs. Purvashada, my K2 rules color black. K2 rules dogs. And my K2 is exactly conjunct Lyra. Well, this is Ruth, my dog. This was the listing. And I showed you guys this years ago when we got her. Meet Lyra. That's Ruth. I'll show you the date. Oh, no, this is I'll go back on my photos and show you the date because that was my screenshot that I sent to Versha. So let me go back to I'll prove this to you guys. I'm not making this up. I come with receipts. Apparently receipts are a big thing today. It's come through like 3 or 4 different times of talking about receipts. And then we're going to get back into our readings and stuff. I still have about an hour being live, so we're good to go. All right, I got to find when we got her. So that was August. Okay, so we can go to October. We're coming up on it. Here it is. Okay. So on October 3rd. Okay, come on. I swear that's 2023, but it's giving me the dot, dot, dot for whatever reason. Oh, there we go. You can see it right there in that tag. And funny, her brother was named Virgo. So they were kind of going for like a celestial theme with the dogs, but I had searched and searched and searched, and there was like almost no black dogs available in my area. I had to drive 5 hours to Idaho to pick her up because I knew I wanted a black dog. And then Lyra appears representing K2 dogs and black Purva Shada Nakshatra, which my K2 is in. You gotta love how everything just lines up. It's so cool. Oh, you remember Judy. I remember your pain. You have a very kind heart. Thank you. I love, like, it just hurts me, all the animal abuse and neglect and just, or people that have dogs and they beat them or hurt them or just don't pay attention to them. I am constantly loving on my kids, my dogs. I'm sure my dogs and kids are both annoyed with me because I'm loving on them constantly, but I just don't see any other way. I'm constantly singing songs to them and talking to them. K2 in the third house, I got to communicate. Even telepathically, I have telepathic communication with both of my dogs. I can just look at them or think of them from across the room, like, okay, let's not do that, or I love you, and then they'll like look up. It's almost scary. Like, it doesn't happen every time. Like, if they're almost like on the verge of sleep or something, they won't look up. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, I will telepathically try to get a message to my dogs across the room, and they will respond like I said something. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love it. All right, let's see. All right. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think I've been seeing more illusion lately and have felt the big shift in my consciousness and was unexpected but so happy it did. Yeah, right. Oh, you're in Mercury Mahadasha. It's a good one. I mean, my Mercury's in the 8th house, so it's like good and bad, but like ultimately it's for my betterment. That's how I have to just keep looking at it. And ending Sati Sati, that's some good stuff. I was going through like a Sati Sati opposition because Sati Sati was exactly opposite my moon. Like when my best friend John died, it was the Saturn was going directly over my, and Pluto. Saturn and Pluto were going directly over my K2, my south node. It was crazy. It was a hard time for me back in 2016. Holy cow. But again, everything opened up. Pluto going and Saturn both going over my south node, past life. It reminded me of who I am, and I woke up even more into this woke up out of the matrix. I'm still in it in a lot of ways. We all are, but every day it's like we're peeling away and allowing ourselves to level up even more. I love it. I hate it and I love it. You're really good in understanding Vedic astrology. It seems like nakshatras, mahadashas, antardashas. Yeah, let's see, since 2016, since about September of 2016, when I very first even heard that Vedic astrology is a thing. So 10 years now, well, 9 and some change years now, I've been on the Vedic astrology train. And I know a decent amount of Western astrology, but my true strength is in Vedic astrology because to me that seeing the true placement of something rather than 23 degrees off just personally makes sense to me. But the fact that most of humanity follows Western astrology, it has created an egregore, or kind of almost like a thought form or entity in and of itself, that it also works very well. So anyone doubting or dissing tropical astrology can go sit down because it works just as well because of the egregore of it all. It does. But weirdly enough, as this system dismantles going into this cross of the sleeping phoenix, I do see the egregores. Anything false is starting to fall away or burn away. And again, it's not all going to happen on that date, 2027, but at least probably I would say within the first 10 years after 2027. So going into 2037, a lot of just the false structures, systems, sciences, belief systems, they're all going to slowly, some more quickly than others, start dismantling or falling away completely. But then there's going to be those people that are very entrenched in the old ways that will hold on to it with their cold, dead hands, so it may still work for them for sure because they're resonating with that frequency or vibe. But those of us who are just leveling into this new energy, it's probably not going to resonate as much as something that's true to the actual locations of where we're at. So if you start to realize, if you're a Western astrology girly or a lover, and it starts to maybe not work so well after maybe even starting now, or even since about October of last year, when we're really starting to feel this almost signal from the future of this cross of the sleeping phoenix, it may start to just not work as much. So, keep that in mind. But that's a good thing, because the zodiac is how it's the orchestration of how the matrix can keep us into these boxes. Because if you have your Ketu in Purvashada Nakshatra, you can't then have also or be acting in ways of a Ketu in Magha Nakshatra or Purnavasu Nakshatra or, Chitra Nakshatra, any of the nakshatras. Because Ketu in one versus another are going to be very different people coming in with very different energy. And yeah, but we're removing the boxes, So even the Vedic astrology may not resonate as much moving into this new energy, because we're allowing our phoenixes to rise from these astrological boxes we were put in. And I actually see that as a good thing, not a bad thing. A very good thing. Because if no one or no system of science or astrology can predict your next move or what you're designed to do, that's a good thing, because then it means you have your sovereignty back and can move left, right, center, up, down, sideways, inside out, or backwards, rather than only this way or only that way or only like this. Because, having certain placements in certain houses in certain whatever is going to be a very specific flavor of that you are reverberating. And I like to think that when we incarnated, we had a big hand in getting the astrology that we did. It wasn't just thrust upon us, maybe sort of, but like at least where your Venus, your South and North Node are, I feel like our spirit had control over where those placements are, because Venus is uncontainable. Anything that the matrix demonizes, Rahu Ketu, uncontrollable, if you ask me. Others may disagree, but that's how I see it anyway. So your Venus and your South Node, North Node may still resonate after all of this is said and done, because it's already uncontrollable by the matrix. Anyway, so yeah. All right. Yes, I have a Chitra Nakshatra, which is it's like the divine architect. That's my ascendant. And I also have my Saturn in that ascendant, but in Virgo. So I love to I'm very flowy and floaty and pulling things from the galactic center with my just downloads and stuff. But once I have those downloads, I don't want them to just be airy-fairy floating around. I want to structure them into. So it's funny, because I both hate labels and like labels at the same time. I more lean toward I hate labels, but sometimes just for me to personally, at least in this current energy, be able to make sense of things, I like to be able to architect something to contain them, if that makes sense. But then once I understand it, I can break down that architecture and let it flow. I hope that makes sense. That's just how my mind works. There are people who are either very flowy, floaty, or very, very analytical, do not allow any of that airy-fairy stuff in here. I'm very much like to combine them. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, Judy. I miss Judy. Yeah, I wish to have an animal sanctuary sometime in a lifetime. There will be a lot of joy, care, and kindness. See that? We need more people like that in the world. I know I always think, if I win the lottery, I'm going to have animal sanctuaries everywhere. And just, if I were one of these billionaires out here, I'd just be setting up animal sanctuaries everywhere and just be funding these operations to take care of all the pets. And same with children, women, helping people, helping animals. That's just where my heart, as long as my needs are met and I'm more than comfortable with the income that I have and into the future. If I had a lot of excess, I would never be someone to just hoard it and hold it on. I mean, I would obviously first probably help the people like my family and extended family and maybe close friends and stuff. But then after those were all taken care of as well, I would want to just keep that ripple going, That's what the world needs. It's too many hoarding billionaires that don't allow that wealth to flow. That's why we all feel this stagnancy in this matrix, because they aren't allowing these things to flow. Oh, Kashmi's looking for Wrigley. It's been a while since we met him here. Yeah, he's still in school for the next 45 minutes. He's a fun one. Yes, he is. He always keeps me on my toes and keeps me guessing what's going to come out of his mouth next. He's very funny. He's like a comedian. Both of my kids are funny and comedians, and so is their dad. So I like to think at times I can be that way too. So maybe they get it from both of us. I don't know. My comedian stuff is just kind of more like Freudian slip, or just like it just kind of I just do it and then I'm reacting to it the way everyone else is hearing it for the first time, so am I. So like I used to be and still can laugh at my own jokes because like I'm just hearing it for the first time right as you guys are. Like I didn't just sit here and like make that up in my head and then try to deliver it. Like it just comes out, you know? And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it falls flat and no one cares. And I don't care either. It's fine. All right. Well, let's get into so Versha. So we basically have an equivalent of like 4. I pick him up a little after, well, his basketball game that's right at 5:00, because we were gonna have to be like, okay, I get to the school around 2:15, park. I had been before this week waiting till like 3 to go pick him up after like everybody's basically left the building and then pick him up. But this last week I've been going early like I used to do every other year. I'd go like an hour early, get a good spot in the lineup, work on my book stuff, and then get them in the car and go. And I was going to have to do that tonight. I mean, I don't technically have to do that because his game at 5 was canceled. So we don't have to get home, rush and make, because my whole thing was, I probably still am going to go up there at 3 no matter what, because I was going to make dinner and have it ready so we could literally eat it at like 3:45, 4:00 to be able to like have it a little bit digested before his 5:00 game. But now I don't have to rush so much. So I can go up there at 3. I would like to maybe have a bit of a lunch and everything, but we still have 45 minutes till 2 p.m. anyway where I'm at. So we're more than good. Even with all my soapboxing and chit-chatting and rambling. It's not an Amanda live stream without lots of rambling. Ramblings of a redhead. That's my old blog. Oh, man. Yeah. So, Get to Lekka can go. Oh, that's sweet. We'll get to Lekka going. So let's go see if she has a question in PayPal. Details. Yes. What's coming up for the next finance, career, happiness? When will I be able to sell my second apartment as the search for proper buyer is still ongoing? All right. I just heard July by July. I know, I'm sure February to July sounds like a lifetime when you have something on the market. But I see by July it's signed, sealed, delivered. And again, the timing of these things, because we are now more in control of the timing than we've ever been able to be, at least in this current incarnation. If you want to sell it tomorrow, just really be putting that energy and laser focus on selling it in your time frame rather than waiting for some random buyer to come along, Get to Lekka. Just know that the universe, if you want to sell it by this date, that the universe will figure out the how and line up the perfect buyer that really loves the apartment and wants to buy it and is more than willing to pay the price that you're asking. But just you knowing the what, I want to sell this by this date and the when, still letting the universe take care of the how. You can have a lot more power over that than you think you do. So let's go to our timer and just ask our questions for Get to Lekka. Coming up next in finance, career, and happiness. And I think we've kind of tuned into that second apartment energy. But if we need to get more information about it, we can totally do that. Oh, I did not set the timer. There we go. So what's coming up for Get to Lekka next in finance, career, and happiness? Ooh, we have the Ace of Coins. So there's a financial opportunity, most likely the selling of this apartment. That looks like it's definitely happening in the very near future. As far as your happiness, career, finances, there may even be a new income stream. If it's not related to that sell of the apartment, there's definitely more influx of finances is what I'm seeing. So that could even look like a raise, a promotion, a bonus of some sort coming in that either is expected or unexpected. I'll get more cards to see what's going on. Ooh, 7 of Cups. This is literally choose your timeline. Choose your weapon. Not Mortal Kombat. I can't remember. One of those 90s video games is like, choose your weapon. It's like, what's your weapon of choice? What timeline do you want to be on? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to create in your life? and she's got her hand on her heart. So maybe even doing some breath work with you. One hand on heart, one hand on womb, because womb is how we birth the reality forward, whether you're male or female. The male womb is more located in the kidney area, but you're a woman, so it doesn't matter what masculine's got going on. To literally be able to birth the timelines and the happiness and the finances that you're looking for. Anything else Getaleka needs to know on finance, career, happiness, and potentially the sell of this second apartment? Ooh, we have the Knight of Cups. Like, you're in the flow. This is divine flow and moving forward by your spiritual path. It's not like the matrixes or your bosses or authorities that you deem as authoritative outside of you telling you what you can and can't do, when you can and can't do it, how you can and can't do it. Of course, we are co-creators with the universe as far as our reality, so we're not like in control of all of it, because that could just be too much chaos if it's not contained. But just you knowing what you would like to create and then asking the universe or working with the universe or source, whatever you want to call that force that is greater or the greatest. If there's a specific archetype or God or label that you want to put on that, that's totally up to you. I just say it in general terms, source or the universe. And most people know what I mean. But this is about you being able to direct the flow of what it is you're looking to manifest. If you want to be happy, it's about doing the things that make you happy. I know it sounds so simple, but it's not always easy, especially when we're distracted and we're busy and we're overwhelmed with just life's daily upkeep of, your physical vessel, your home, keeping, your car in working order and repair, and, your work life, your desk decluttered. Like, just the maintenance of life is exhausting for most average people. That it almost just, the more simple you can live, that's kind of a theme coming through now, is the more simple, or the more you can simplify your routine, your like the different structures or routines that you have. If you can declutter your space, your mind, your workspace, these can like significantly reduce the amount of upkeep needed. I'm seeing, like, in my mind's eye, this is maybe not literal, but just more metaphorically speaking, this shelf full of knickknacks. And every week, more dust accumulates. So every week you have to pull each and every one of those knickknacks off all those shelves and dust, 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 sneeze, sneeze, achoo! Dusting all these knickknacks, put them all back up. And then a week later, it all needs to be dusted again. But say you had 3 knickknacks and 4 books and a big crystal. That is much quicker work than all of the knickknack dusting that you were doing before. So it's about simplifying, streamlining your routines, maybe even habit stacking. I'm seeing like a habit stacking thing coming forward. Anything else? Ooh, got 2 more. Ooh, clarity and being able to take control of your finances, your happiness, your resources, your physical body, your home, the sell of your apartment. You have 2 aces here. So there is a lot of new beginning energy just in these 2 aces alone. But this is the sort of truth and clarity. You're going to cut through the BS. People lying, you're going to see a lie a mile away. You're going to be able to take the information that you're given or that you receive somehow, whether it's through downloads or other people communicating with you, to then make a new beginning that you can solidify. And you will have help. If you need help, this is about being able to delegate for a helper. So, to try to sell that apartment, maybe you're hiring some sort of real estate or agent to orchestrate the sale of that so you can focus on the other things. Or, being able to outsource things that just aren't your priority to other people. Maybe you're paying other people in exchange for a service, to where you're able to really laser focus or simplify your to-do list. That feels pretty potent already. All right, let's get this card, whatever it's called. The Believe in Your Own Magic card. Anything else for Getaleka that needs to come through on happiness and all? Ooh, we got 2. Nostalgia. Focus on the here and now. Remember I was saying about laser focusing? Because sometimes when we get nostalgic, we start floating into the past, the good things, the bad things, the whatever. Usually nostalgia is more of a positive energy. But it's about maybe taking those nostalgic thoughts of the past and bringing them and grounding them in the present. If it's something that you've always wanted to do as a child, and now you have the time, money, and resources to do that, that's a perfect example of grounding that past energy into the present moment. And then the mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. And we were talking about like the decluttering of the physical vessel, your desk, your physical home. And decluttering could also look like the sale of that second apartment because it's excess, it's not needed anymore. And instead, you'd rather have the financial resources or income from the sale of that apartment to be able to do something different with that money. So let's get your last card. Anything else for Get to Luck It in way of finance, career, happiness, and selling the apartment? Just anything else that needs to come through. Beautiful uncaging. Yes, again, this is about you deciding the when, the where, the why, and the what. The what, the where, the when, the why, and allowing the universe, God, source, whatever you label that, to take care of how it's all going to happen. Because sometimes we have these grand ideas, but like, I don't think I could ever do that. Because how would I do that? Allow the universe to take care of the how. You do the what, the where, when, why. Why do I want this? What is it that I want? Why do I want it? When do I want it to happen? And where will it appear in my life? You can a lot of times have a lot more control over that, especially moving into this new energy than you have in the past. All right. So I hope that resonated for you. Get to Luck It. It looks like all good stuff. So, and you are more in control or in charge of the finances, the happiness, the career success, selling that apartment. You really are holding the lock and the key. And anytime you decide to turn that key in the lock, you open everything up for yourself. I love that. These are very positive messages coming through today. I'm really loving the positivity. We need it in this world right now, for sure. Stagger them all back in here. All right. So, Versha, you are next, my dear, with your stellium of questions. We're going to call it a stellium. Yeah, we can probably do that. We can do that first because we haven't done that yet. We got 6 people on the line. We're going to do our giveaway and drawing. And I think we're just going to go super simple on what the giveaway is today. If anyone can tell me what crystal I showed at the beginning of the live stream or beginning first 40 minutes of whenever it is that I showed that crystal. What crystal did I show? The first person I see on my back end to type out the name of that crystal gets the giveaway. Versha, you have won. It was, in fact, the pyrite. Look at that. You just a hair's breadth win away from Jessa getting it. But everyone else who's here, let's enter you into our drawing. I'm just going to put this out of the way just for now so I have a little bit of wiggle room here. Strips of paper to write people's names on and all the fun things. We have a little bit of slip action going here. Slips of paper for people. I don't have scissors though, so we're going to do the old lick and fold technique. Kind of gross, but I'm the only one touching the paper, so it doesn't really matter probably. Fun times. All right. So I used to do this all the time as a kid, and I've even said that on the live stream because my mom only had left-handed scissors, and she'd hide them because they were so precious to her that if any of us got a hold of them, she would be like, "Where are my scissors?" So like I learned from a young age to be able to cut something straight. The lick and fold technique. I know it's kind of gross, but that's where we're at right now. All right. How many people do we have? Please give the reading 2K. She is in tears as she wanted to participate. Aw. Oh, no. All right. So we're going to rip up our papers accordingly here. So if you would like to be entered into today's drawing, we have 5 people in the chat. So 555. She loves to tear paper as well, just like you doing. Like maybe that's just a universal thing that most kids do when they don't have scissors handy. Just a little lick and tear. Lick and tear. Just enough water to give you a nice clean seam on your papers. I don't know. All right, I think I have enough here. Okay, so let's write some names down and enter. All right, we have Kashvi folding up and entering into the pouch. Oh, no, you're not late. Just put a 555 in the chat. That lets me know you want to participate. Solar Siren. Let's get you going. These are small pages, so bear with me. Your name's on there, I swear. There it is. All right. Into the pouch. Up next. It's me, Jessica. Do you guys remember that from, is that the, oh no, it's not the animal. It's one of those, oh, now I'm blanking on his name. The guy that played Deuce Bigelow. Oh gosh. Why am I blanking on his name? But he was in a movie with Regina George from Mean Girls, whatever that, God, even her name's escaping me, and I know her name. God. He was in a movie with her. He's like, it's me, Jessica, because they switched bodies. Rob Schneider, that's the name. Thank you. Oh, hello, Jessica. It has been a while. I hope you're doing well. All right. Up next, we have Jessica. All right. Boom. There it is. Okay. Let's enter. We have, oh, you've been super busy. That's kind of the theme of the day for so many people right now, like just feeling so busy with life. Like life is shifting and changing so much. And just a little quick announcement. I know most of you already know, but just a reminder for those that do or maybe don't. Tomorrow, February 14th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, we are doing our big eclipse live stream special because I couldn't do Wednesday and I did not want to just skip it because it is too huge to ignore. I have lots of notes about it, and even still, I could just let those notes go, no big deal. But no, we need to tune into this energy. It is huge. It is life-changing. It is epic. It is an epidemic in the best possible way. Yeah, we're going to get into it on Saturday, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And of course, if you can't be there, you can always watch the replay. We always have that available. All right. Anyone else? Put a 555 in the chat. So Versha. Boom. And Jay McDonald. It's so hard to write on these because they're so small that I keep slipping, but we're getting it anyway. We're getting them in there. All right. Last call to be entered into today's, well, it's a perpetual drawing. There are lots of names in here from the past, but you may be called from today. Who knows? Last chance to have a potential to win today, but you can still, between now and the end of the live stream, if anyone puts a 555, I will still put your name in, but of course we've already by then have pulled today's winner. All right. No, we're good. Okay, here we go. Today's winner is, it's an old one. It's pink paper. Katie R. Ding, 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 ding. She is not here, so we will timestamp for her. So she gets 2 timestamps today. She's our winner. Versha, what is Kashvi's question? We're going to roll right into that. And then we'll do Katie's general read. And then we'll continue on with Versha's questions. And that's probably going to close our donation window for today. Thank you for participating in our 1313. The last energy frequency of our 1313. 1 plus 3 is 2. Sorry, 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. So 44. And then our 2222 is what our full reads have been priced before. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. We're moving from the 44 frequency to the 77 frequency. So that means moving forward, that our 2222 readings are going to move up just slightly to 2525, 77. And our 1 card pulls are going to actually take quite a jump, $5 jump, whereas I didn't even make the full read a full $5 jump, but to keep that 77 frequency, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4, 2, 2 is 4. That adds up to a 4. The 1, 6, 1, 6. 16, 16, 7, 7. So it's going to be 16, 16 for a 1 card pull moving forward and 25, 25 for a full read moving forward. So it's going to be in your best interest and the best value to do the full read at this point. But if you only want the one card pull, you can still do that too. I think it's mostly because even at the one I've noticed, yes, I think I still do longer reads on the full read, but on the one card pull, they were really encroaching definitely past the one card pull like timer just as a one card pull. So I knew I needed to fix it a little bit. But you're getting more value because the messages that are coming through are even becoming more and more high frequency, and I love it. I love it so much. Is A in her class really her friend, or is trying to trick her and break her heart? Oh gosh. Oh no. All right. So I'm already hearing hidden agenda, but let's just see how far this agenda goes. If this is just she's not opening her heart to a friendship, but she is acting as a friend, or if this is something people put her up to. Let's just tune in. Let's first set our timer so I stay on track. That's step one. Okay. So is A in her class trying to trick her or break her heart, or is she really her friend? Okay. So I do feel that this girl really is her friend. It's just that this girl has had trouble with other friends in the past that broke her heart. So she's open, but not too open as far as that goes. So think of, these friendships girls can form before their heart gets broken. They're open, they're honest, they just flow with the love of the friendship. But then something happens, and this is talking past energy for A. Something happened with a friend that she told her a secret, or, oh, I think I like this boy, or, she told her something that then later got used against her. So now it's not that this girl is like an enemy in disguise or anything. No, it's just that she may have a hard time sharing secrets or emotions or feelings because she doesn't want them used against her the way they were in the past. So it may take Kashvi being more open and honest and sharing her heart. Again, I would say especially, I wished I knew this back in my elementary to middle school years as well, that not everyone is a trusted friend. We should not be spilling our deepest desires and secrets to just anybody. This should be only reserved for the people that we can know and trust deeply. But a lot of times we're naive, or we're just so innocent at that age that we don't think that someone would ever betray us. So we open ourselves up to get kicked while we're down or something like that. Again, this is me describing A's energy in the past. As far as the energy that A is bringing into this connection, she wants to open her heart. She wants a best friend that she can tell everything to and feel like a sister in disguise. But let's just see what Kashvi can do to open this girl up just from a pure, loving place to let this girl know it's safe to be a friend. What can Kashvi do? The Hermit. So this is about when her and this girl, A, are one-on-one together. It's almost like this allows A to open herself up. It's going to be much easier to get the true signature of friendship when you guys are kind of just in a group of you and her versus you and A and B and C and D and E and F and G and a bunch of other people around. So it's going to be more when you're kind of just in your own energy without a bunch of people around to influence anything. Is the girl who did this to her in their class this year, or was this her? I'm hearing it was last year. This was still like reverberation and pain that she had from last year, but this year. She's still bringing that pain, even though it happened last year. She says this is so true. Yeah. Let's just see anything else. Oh, I just have chills now. So this does feel like a soulmate friend, soulmate connection. That doesn't mean you have to have this girl in your life for the rest of your life if that's not what you want. But a lot of times, sometimes soulmates can incarnate just for a very small time in our lives to teach us a lesson, or just to be like a really good friend for a while, but then maybe they move away, or and you're like, years later, you're like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to that friend that I just loved. I mean, I had so many pen pals of friends that I had that I think it was like, I thought I was cursed growing up. My main best friend, from second grade all the way through about ninth grade, we were best friends. But I had other like side friends that were not quite best friend material, but like close, that I would make really good friends with them, and then they'd move away. I'd make good friends with them, they'd move away. I'd make good friends with them, guess what? They'd move away. So I had like 4 pen pals. Yeah, is this the girl who hurt her? Let's see if this is the energy, if this is the girl who hurt her. Yep. Lying, cheating, stealing, deception. Yeah. Yep, that's it. But let's get some just pure source, loving guidance energy for Kashfi and A, how they can create this beautiful friendship without a bunch of matrix tricksters or outside interference getting in the way. Okay. It's about not listening to all the external noise. And this is a hard energy for a young girl of 10, 11 years old to hold. I will be honest, because people are going to talk, people are going to be rude and bullies, and that's just what it is. Kay will change school, so she's not, may not be meeting her. Yeah, but there could even be, you could take the swords, which are communication, and be pen pals. Maybe they sign up, what's your address? What's your address? And, they can either have some sort of online chat back and forth, or like literal, like writing you a letter and sending you like fun Pokemon cards. And oh, the girl I moved school. Okay, good. Okay, then you don't want pen pal with I. No. So disregard all that. But anyway, let's see. The I girl moves schools or play dates. Yeah, even play dates. Yeah, but let's just see anything else to close this out, to keep out the noise and just have this very pure, fun little friendship between Kashfi and A. King of Coins. Just literally act as a friend. You will have a friend. And if in your mind you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that, but then you say it, please always follow that first thought, like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't say this, and just kind of hold it back. And maybe it's not that you're not saying it ever. It's just you're finding a more nice way to say something to her. Like, just as an example, like, oh, your hair looks so stupid like that. Like, that's a mean thing to say. But, kids, being kids, like, they don't mean it to be mean. They just say it because it just came to their mind, like, ooh, that looks weird. Instead, maybe like, oh, that's an interesting choice of hairstyle, but not in a passive aggressive way, but just like, oh, that's interesting. And just let it speak for itself, or just don't say anything at all if you think it looks bad. But if you see something that looks off that you can tell probably A didn't mean, like, there's toilet paper sticking to the bottom of her shoe, you can be like, hey, toilet paper on your shoe. But not yelling it in front of the whole class. Another way to like read the room. Yeah, that's my biggest advice coming forward with that, is to be able to read the room and say the right thing at the right time. Or if you can't, kind of that you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But be discreet about certain things instead of calling her out like, hey, you got toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe in front of the whole class. Walk up to her and be like, hey, look, grab that for you. More discreet, more secretly helping her out rather than yelling it from across the room in front of everybody. Just as an example. I'm not saying you're doing that, but just as an example, if that makes sense. All right. I hope that helped. I hope that resonated. All right. Up next, we have Katie R. Katie! So we have, let me timestamp this one. And so 24202. 24202. Katie, you won our drawing today. We pulled your name out of the hat, as you see here. So we are going to do a quick general for you. And I'm going to set my timer. Just whatever Katie needs to know right now. Anything in alignment with Katie's true spirit that she needs to know right now. Here we go. Ooh, the Hanged One. This makes a lot of sense with just being in this kind of almost limbo stage. Your grandma just passed away, and maybe this has got you kind of thinking about the future, but like it's like almost like, oh, I don't have time for that right now. Like I gotta, there's a funeral and there's all this stuff going on, and it's okay to feel and be in this energy right now, because as this kind of almost cocoon type of energy lifts, you're gonna see things from an even higher perspective. That's what's really coming through first and foremost. Let's get one of our Oracle of the 7 energies for Katie in alignment with her true spirit. What does she need to know right now? Ooh, we have 2. The Rose's Kiss and the Call of the Muse. Look at this beautiful feminine energy. And we even have a 31 inverse of 13 going on this Call of the Muse. I mean, these 2 cards are we have 9 closing out cycles. this is the closing out of that cycle. If you've been watching much of the live stream that we've been talking about the suppression of the divine feminine with that false grid, false matrix architecture net that's been kind of suppressing that divine feminine that is now rising. And I was kind of describing it earlier as like water just being able to flow through a net, where before it was almost like a frequency that you get too close, you're going to get shocked or zapped or burned in some way by being too feminine or too in your creative life force, divine spark of femininity. But now you're going to be able to just move right on past that frequency net of the matrix because there's too many holes in the veil now. You're going to be able to rise above. And the Rose's Kiss really is speaking of your love life or love of life. Call of the Muse is a very creative time for you coming up. And sometimes we need to kind of go into almost this like dark night of the soul, grief, purge, sickness energy, or just, feeling almost low vibrational sometimes. When someone passes away, we almost start to question our own mortality, our own life, our own path moving forward. And again, that can happen if we're kind of down and out with an illness or a flu or a whatever. We're kind of forced to sit our butt down and just be, and sometimes that's when some of the life's greatest downloads or ideas can come through. Especially for me, because I'm like I've learned this lesson fast and hard, not very fast, but very, very hard many times over the course of my life. But as I get closer to this cross of the sleeping phoenix energy, I learn the lesson quicker, and I don't have to fully burn myself out before getting the memo anymore. I start to sense that I'm close to the line and I back off. Like I just naturally say, okay, I can't take on another mentor session. I can't, cook dinner tonight. We're doing takeout, or, whatever the case may be. I'm learning boundaries. So there may be some boundaries you're learning as far as not burning yourself out, that are coming through at this time, at this very sacred, I'm hearing it's a very sacred time because the veil is very thin, especially with your grandmother just crossing over. Part of your family lineage just pierced the veil, if you think of it that way. It's a very different perspective, hangman energy, different perspective to look at a loss of a loved one. That you're very close to the veil right now because a loved one literally just pierced it for you, pierced through it, went through it, navigated past it. And now there are cracks in the foundation of the matrix to where you could start seeing, and I got chills as I say that. So it's like that false identity that we all start to wear that we call the ego or programming or cultural conditioning. You're going to find that during kind of this stasis time that you're in, Katie, you're going to start to feel that stuff slough away or fall away. Slowly but steadily, because I just saw like a turtle in my mind's eye, or very like Knight of Pentacles energy. Although parts or facets of this will happen kind of overnight, but then it's going to take time for you to process. And I think, weirdly enough, I think that same kind of vibe or energy came through with your grandmother reading. About, maybe you'll get these spiritual downloads, but then it'll take you the next 2, 3, 4 months to like process. What does it all mean? Like that guy seeing the double rainbow on that meme, that video back in the day. What does it all mean? Making sense of life. All right. Okay. So I hope that resonated for you, Katie. Congratulations again on winning our drawing today. Very fun. Very cool. All right. So Versha. So let's go to text. I think you have your questions over there. Okay. So timestamp. Let's do them as 1 read and 2 yes, no, if that's okay. Perfect. That works. So for the full read, the message from my white dragon, also my dark knight dragon that rose from the Gulf of Panama City. Oh yeah. And then the Panama, that song came forward in that last reading. And the elders of my galactic family that I feel are very close. I am so humbled to be connected to them. And I'm almost seeing the dragons forming this almost like yin yang symbol, like the light dragon, the dark dragon, and then the little tail of the white dragon is on the black, and the little tail, the black dragon is on the white. Yeah, I had to get that correct. So it's almost like the yin yang. They're forming the perfect divine masculine, divine feminine union within you. Ooh, that's powerful. Let me set our timer, and we're going to get into this. Oops, wrong timer. Exit stage left, please. Thank you. Put the correct time. Okay, so let me go back. We'll be able to reiterate the question as we go. So, yes. I'm going to start with this deck first. So, full message from White Dragon. Let's get that one first. This is the White Dragon message. Earth magic. And look at all those roots, the grounding, the number one, new beginning. But new is old because the new Earth is technically the old blueprint. Not old, but like the original. The OG is number one. The false is number whatever. So that's from the White Dragon. Message from the Dark Dragon. Ears open wide. And there's your 33. That 33 is from your Dark Dragon. Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy, you can't make this stuff up. He almost looks dragon-like with that, like, almost like, you know how they have the scales with like the ears almost looking, he almost looks, this little fox almost looks dragon-like here. Or he's like a type of pygmy. I heard pygmy something. Pygmy? Is a pygmy fox a thing? I've heard of like pygmy owls. I heard pygmy fox. Let me go. I gotta spell it correctly. Okay. The smallest fox species, and it's got those ears. Wow, okay. I spelled it wrong, but let's click the right spelling and see. Fennec fox. FF. It's like 33 FF. But there's a lot of clairaudience. You may be getting messages. Oh, and he sent you the song. Panama. Wow. Look at that. So he may be speaking to you through songs, through the symbol of the 33. He seems more like active and excited and whatever. And then the White Dragon feels more calm, cool, collected, very nurturing at this time. This is the excitement. This is the grounding, that excitement. The White Dragon, the Black Dragon. Let's just see. A pet I had in the past. Let's see. It's covered up, so let me get correctly here. So there's Dark took me for a ride inside my inner world as I met my crystalline version of myself, Lemuria, Eden. I have chills, Amanda. I had a pet in a past life from some planet. I'm pretty sure, yeah. And that's why you just have this pull, and Kashvi as well has this pull to get a dog, because you know what it's like in past lives or past in this life to have a pet, and it almost feels like a piece of you is missing, not literally, but like just this almost companion energy that a pet would resonate with in your life would amplify things really, really well. And because you don't have those pets like literally in your home right now, these dragons are almost acting as pets. I mean, obviously we know they're high vibrational, high dimensional beings that are not pets, but like they're like, here, we'll loan you our energy as pets for now, if that makes sense. Even though they're very much like mentors to you as well. But my dogs literally are mentors to me. And I know that sounds like trite, like, oh, sure, Amanda. Like, no, I mean it. Like, they teach me so much about myself, about life, about just their reaction to things. Like, I'm always learning from my dogs. As weird as that sounds. But let's just see. Yeah, calm, loving, and by my side. My chills are not stopping. Oh my gosh. Let's see anything else. Versha needs to know the messages of this union of divine masculine, divine feminine, dragon energy. I have chills now too, right on my left side of my top of my head. Just got to download that. I did balance my inner divine feminine, and that is when the masculine one rose, and then my inner child rides the masculine one a lot. Oh my gosh. Because this is very childlike right here. It's almost like your inner child. I know it's just like a shadow on the card, but it almost is like the shadow figure of your inner child. I'm seeing like a white shadow along the back with the arm up like that. You see the arm going up right here? And then like here'd be like the head and the body. Again, it's like spiritual, so it's not just like straight up human. It's very like a shadow or a reflection or a ball of light that's kind of dissipated, almost like you can look through it. But let's just confirm that. I'm getting a big yes, but let's just see what the cards want. If there's anything the cards want to add to that download. I feel like crying. I feel the tears come up in the back of my eyes. Yeah, it's almost like the pricking. But as I see it, it's like pricking the veil, putting all sorts of like holes in the veil. And then I just saw a night sky, like the pinpricks are all the stars. And we were talking about Sirius earlier and your connection to Sirius. I have chills, 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 chills. I have tears in my eyes. Do you see that? Probably not. Oh my gosh, I swear. Let me do this. I have tears in my eyes. I hope you can see it. Look at all that blue Syrian energy. The universe, the world. You're literally not just a being of this planet. You are a being of the world. You are in this world, but not of it. You are made of stardust, but that is from not just Earth, but from realms way beyond. You dropped your card, so I'm gonna grab that. Wow, okay, we have 13 seconds left, right as I looked at the timer. Holy cow, Divine Feminine much. Let's get a closing statement. Yeah, but you're closing out a lot of those past baggages, past cycles. Anything else that needs to come through? Holy cow. Sorry. Oh my gosh. And you also have the wheel. These are 2 cards about closing. Oh gosh, they're so slippery right now because there's such potent energy going on. I'll grab it. Okay. These are the 2 cards of endings in the major arcana. Big ending points, stopping points. This is a graduation. This is a karmic turning of the wheel. If things have been shitty, they're going to get good. If things have been good, they're going to get shit. They've been pretty bad. Let's be honest, where you're concerned. So they're only going up from here. And we have 3. It's almost like the 3 of Cups energy here with like a coven or like a spiritual community. And again, this can serve as a spiritual community. Friends that you have online can be a spiritual community, Raylene's community, whatever resonates for you. But again, because you're closing out cycles, there may be spiritual communities that you're leaving because you've learned everything you can from them. And not that they're holding you back, but it's just for you to be able to keep expanding. You're searching. Again, it's coming from within, not from without. But as you search for that within, you will discover it without as well. I swear I wrote the Wheel of Fortune in my last question that you will read. It is about this only. What? Oh my gosh. Okay. So we answered this one. Holy cow. I could just keep going and going and going. You guys know me. I could just keep going and going. And then we have the Judgment on the back. This is Awakening on the back of the deck. And it's like that frequency fence that's been keeping us. I'm seeing it more like we've been kept up in this like dark dungeon of the castle that they inverted the energy of those dragons to guard the castle. I mean, think of all the like medieval and like fantasy where they make the dragons the bad guys. And I just heard, as I said that, watch the movie Damsel. It's got 11, Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things as the main character. I have chills. Have you seen that yet? I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hearing there's going to be so many downloads for you in that movie. I did mention today another awakening. There it is. Woo, there it is. And that's your dragon speaking through songs. Tag team, back again. Something, something, something. Let's begin. Something, something, money maker. Let me make some noise. Let me Google it before we move into your next question. Whoop, there it is. Lyrics. I'm not going to sing it for you. I just kind of did, but party people. Yeah. Tag team music in full effect. That's me. DC. What could DC stand for? The Brain Supreme and my man Steve rolling. We're kicking the flow. We're kicking the flow. And it goes a little something like this. Tag team, back again. Check it to wreck it. Let's begin. We checked the false matrix to wreck it. Let's begin. Beyond. Oh my gosh. This is your Black Dragons message. So here it is. Party on, party people. Let me hear some noise. DC's in the house. Jump, jump, rejoice. Says there's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air. Shake your derriere. That's like getting all that trauma out of your hips, shaking your butt. It's literally giving you a blueprint for how to move and navigate this energy. This is insane. Oh my gosh. Yeah, wave your hands in the air. This is like a way to get rid of, like, even just, I used to do this. I gotta stand up and do it. I used to do this all the time as a kid. Like, my chair's in the way. I can't quite do it. But just like letting your arms go loose and just kind of flop. That's a way to release trauma from your body. Also, moving your hips in any way that intuitively feels good. A lot of feminine trauma is stored in the hips. A lot of it. Let it go. That's what he's saying. Let it go. Okay, so party over here, party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake your derriere. These 3 words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is. Hit me. Whoop, there it is. Repeated a whole bunch of times. And then he says upside down and inside out. Inverted matrix much? Holy cow. I'm about to show all you folks what it's all about. What has this incarnation been about this whole time? He's about to show you. Now it's time for a something N-word to get on the mic, derogatory term to get on the mic and make this mother ever party hype. It's like I'm taking it back to the old school because I'm an old fool, old soul who's so cool. If you want to get down, I'm gonna show you how the way there. And you say Stranger Things because when I heard upside down and inside out, I'm thinking of the upside down, obviously. It's no coincidence. Remember, Lucas says, "There's no. I don't believe in coincidence. There's no coincidences." It's no coincidence that you watched Stranger Things right when you did because the alignment was perfect for the message of this black dragon to get through that symbolism because it's a kind of a more dark, avant-garde kind of monsters and scary stuff that we don't usually want to see, but it's packaged in a very commercial, children being the main characters, teenagers being the main characters, way that it's palatable almost for mainstream consumption. Wow. I'm gonna just let you finish the song here, but you can listen to it. Oh, it came out in 1996, and there's always a relevance to when a song came out. You're closing out some karma. That was 30 years ago. That's a Saturn return for I have chills. The same place Saturn is right now is where it was in 1996. Wow. That's a Saturn return right there. Holy cow. Karma, clearing, matrix, illusion, falling. I love this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can point blank gin and juice I drink and then vent. There's a whole bunch of stuff that maybe even if you don't know what it means, it's fine, but you can Google those lyrics if you want. Wow. Okay, next question. That almost felt, even though it was Verish's question, it almost felt like a collective message that we're all waking up in ways, even if it's not a specific dragon or, whatever we resonate with as our archetypes, our symbology, or whatever it is that we utilize to navigate this crazy space, We all have our own totems, archetypes, spirit animals, guardians, whatever resonates most with us. Will come forward when it's time. All right. So up next for the next yes/no question. Okay. Oh, and I also forgot tonight I'm invited to a Galentine's Day party for my future sister-in-law. So that's gonna be fun. Oh shoot, I have a candle made. I just need to fix the top of it. So I need to do that today before the party, before the other basketball. We have 2 basketball games. I have a party that goes over the 6:00 game, I think. Yeah. Because I have a game at 5:00 and a game at 6:00 for Wrigley. He's at both. Busy night, busy evening. I feel they all will flow into this one. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Okay, let's open up a text. So first, yes, no. Last month, I did a healing session that was clearing my root chakra, reclaiming a part of my inner child. Oh, wow, this has already been answered. That's crazy, but we'll dive more into it. Yeah, my root chakra reclaiming a part of my inner child, but my sacral got cleared too from trauma, and the Kundalini muddying that area was cleared, followed by a journeying I had shared where I met my crystalline version, which felt back from Lemuria Syrian connection, as you mentioned. Maybe then yesterday I literally did a journey inside my body to my reproductive organs, holding them in love and in hands of apologizing for all the harm I caused, asking for the complete and total healing and dissolution of fibroids, cysts, and other. Oh, my nose is so itchy. It's like good luck, good energy, good flow. And now my sinuses are acting up to allow, like, because that's usually like a purge or a release. You see my like nose and cheeks are kind of getting red, like a almost like a sinus clear purge declutter, but you were feeling it probably more below. Um, oh, and then you were having the feminine issues that you texted me about. I won't blast it all over here. Um, with that area, right? You were having that area issues going on the last couple days, right? Oh my gosh, this makes total sense. Wow. Um, yes. So my other question is the creation center issues or funny throat. Oh, now you mentioned sinus. There it is. Body ache I am facing. Is it a clearing? Yes, 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 yes. Um, an upgrade of the whole reproductive system and purging. If not, then should I go to a doctor? I'm hearing yes, 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 yes. No doctor needed. No doctor required. These symptoms will be gone early enough that no doctor will be needing to be worried about. So let's just tune in, that confirming that this is a clearing of those energies from the work you did. Absolutely. 10 of cups. Now you can really look at all the cups. That's the emotion, that's the womb, that's the heart. All the clearing you did has now allowed all these 10 cups to start running over or into the future, if that makes sense. Yeah, having difficulty getting up. Let's see. Anything else Versha needs to know about this energy that she cleared, or just anything else in general about this whole journey? Anything else she needs to know? Four of Wands. There's stability brought back. This is the house. This is a new home card, new contract signed card, wedding, divine masculine, divine feminine card. And by new home, I'm seeing like a redistribution of energy and a cleansing and I'm seeing like the crystalline structures of your physical body are being healed as we speak because of that work you did. And of course, there's probably always further future, healings and journeys you can do to further fine tune this healing process or peeling process to restore yourself back to that true crystalline blueprint. Oh, you have a guest coming from India you wish you could completely avoid. Let's just tune into that because, I didn't set the timer, but before we close out. Yeah, we have the teacher here. There may be something you're teaching this person while they're here. And that's the reason they need to come. Because this almost is giving hermit energy, right? Well, wait. This is the Hierophant. The number 5 is the Hierophant. But it is giving hermit vibes. For Hierophant, usually you see like disciples or mentees like bowed before you, followers bowed before you. This is very much a hermit Hierophant. But yeah, when will this land in my body? Let's just see. Anything else about that? Ooh, so it's gonna take a bit of time. I'd say there's maybe 3 more days of major processing, purging. The major part of it though is out of the way. So this is just the residual effects of that. And I want to say your symptoms started about 4 days ago, 3-4 days ago. So you may be already on the tail end of this. But you may still need another yet 3 days or so to just get your strength back up, feel like the life has entered the chat again, all the fun things. The energy's entered the chat, all the fun things. Yeah. Yep, on Sunday night. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I would say by I have chills. I see by Monday, next Monday, you're like back to like feeling really good physically. In like much support. And then now we have the Hermit falling with the Queen of Cups and the Magician. Love it. Okay. So Hermit, Queen of Cups, Magician. All right. Next question. So yes, no, I am aware that I'm anchoring the new reality and timeline and I am on time, but nothing feels like that at this moment. When will things actually start turning a page in our life? Me and Kay. Not sure if S will be part of it. I am in acceptance of my current situation. No running from it, and am doing my best to be present, not fighting with S anymore, not trying to control the people in my life, but some shift, like opening of my abundance funnel, miracles dropping in more often, or maybe setting up some kind of business or source of income, might help spirit. I know I know the timelines don't work anymore from the last year experience with the swap timeline issues. Yeah. And just that the current status quo is not working as it completely out of alignment with me. Yeah. And that's again the cross of planning and any gates that you may have. And I would say just start with your tropical chart instead of trying to figure out the cosmic chart and do all the things, because the tropical chart that you can just run for free is a direct hit as far as how the matrix will affect you. The cosmic chart is once you've ascended the matrix and like moving into the ethers and better opportunities, that's the chart for that. So I would say just look at your tropical human design chart and learn what you intuitively feel to learn, like certain gates. If you have any gates of the cross of planning, you can Google what are the gates of the cross of planning and the cross of, oh gosh, there's another, there are basically two crosses running. One's like the main event, and then the other's kind of more underlying that main event. The gates we're moving, or the incarnation cross we're moving into is called the gate or the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And then the underlying of that is the cross of penetration. Yeah. So you can see the two that we've been running, the two incarnation crosses we've been running, and the two we're moving into, and see where there's any overlap in your chart with that energy. And even if you have a lot of gates that are associated with the cross of planning, it's almost like because that's how you're programmed, you can take those elements of the cross of planning into the future and be just fine with it, because it's literally how you're designed to fit into any matrix. And of course, once the matrix falls, all bets are off anyway. So you'll be so sovereign and authentic. It doesn't matter what the matrix has to say about anything, you know? But these are the cards that came out. As far as you being able to be anchoring in the new reality. Well, we have that. You are your own savior. You don't have to wait for S's, whatever. You don't have to wait for, all this, whatever. Eventually, after that hard battle that you've been in, the Five of Wands, you will have that victory. You will be the own white knight. You are your own savior, rescuing yourself. And again, it's almost like your inner child riding the dragon, but was riding the black dragon rather than the white dragon we see here, or white horse. We have the Six of Coins. It's like Ursula from The Little Mermaid. It's very octopus energy. For a Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles, for Ursula to be able to still Ariel's voice, she made that exchange. Like, you give me your voice and I'll let you have the guy. And it's like, now it's like, well, you can have the guy and I want my voice because it's my moneymaker. It's how or at least a big part of how I can navigate the new energy. Wow. And then the Ten of Swords is like mini death energy. You've already been in this. You're kind of coming out of it. So this is not like new stuff. I mean, there's always new stuff, obviously, but I'm more reading this as past energy that you're still dealing with the residuals of. It's almost like fallen from grace, or that feeling of shame, guilt, resentment of having fallen from grace from all the trauma and the abuse and the stress that's currently going on, even with S as we speak. But let's get a card or two on that before we close out, on how you can solidify these new timelines for you and Kashvi. A grand symphony. This is not just some little tune that you're like tunelessly whistling. This is and I just heard grand finale with that 27, because that's wrapping it into a 9 energy of, again, that cross of planning, cross of the sleeping phoenix, kind of energies that are merging and kind of almost acting as a chaos, because they're discordant, they're running up against each other, and the people with the cross of planning are feeling the like nails on the chalkboard of the new energy coming in, and the people with the new energy that are like ready to level up are like, ew, I hate the death cries or the death throes of this horrible matrix that I've been in. And 27 is your birthday. There it is. So it's like between now and your birthday, you are creating a grand symphony. And this is, in a symphony, it's not just one instrument, it's many different instruments coming together. So it's not like you have to do this all alone. It's like the universe is orchestrating all of this behind the scenes. And like I was telling Getaleka, you worry about the what, where, when, and why. And then the universe will worry about the how. So it's not even you asking, well, when is this happening? When do you want it to happen? And make sure you're ready. When you be ready to get what you ask for, because you're going to be able to get into this. But with the 2027 energy, I can't ignore the elephant in the room. We do have a 27 here. So in 2027, that is a universal year number 2. We're going to be moving either into or out of certain partnerships, all of us as a collective. And our partnerships with the cross of planning, contract burned, contract ripped up, contract done, new partnership, cross of the sleeping phoenix. Yes, let's shake on it. That's going to be happening in the second month, the 2-month of a 2 universal year on February 15th. 1 + 5 is 6. But this is a nurturing contract that is, it's very nourishing. It's nurturing. It is taking everyone into account because everybody is doing it their very own way. And there's your Fleetwood Mac's "Go Your Own Way" song reference that comes in. And then look, you're riding your dragon, but it's an owl. And you kind of look like me in this depiction a little bit, but a higher view. There's your judgment card. There's your awakening. There's your 41, which adds up to a 5, which is about the chaos of everything going through. But you will have that higher perspective to be able to navigate even the chaos of these times right now. So I would say it may amp up a little bit more over the next year, but you've already dealt with so much purging of your past trauma that even if something really significant happens in life, it's like, oh yeah, one more thing, let's do it. You're much more able to like hold your own in that energy of the old dying away and the new coming forward for you to be able to anchor those new timelines in. Maybe I dye my hair to a burgundy. There you go. Oh, and she even has burgundy hair. Where'd that other girl go? Oh, I already put it away. But look, she's got like flames on the end and then the roots are growing in black again. Wow, I didn't realize that until just now. Oh my gosh. That could be a power move. If you are like intuitively feeling like guiding to do that, that would be the sleeping phoenix burning and rising from the ashes. And as your hair grows out, you're reclaiming yourself. Oh, that's powerful. Oh my gosh. And hair is in my series, it's such a spiritual significance when certain people change their hair or cut their hair. In my series, it has a lot of meaning. And in real life, it has a lot of meaning. I have chills. Woo! Chills on the hair. That's what I'm thinking about, how I will react to S's behavior. I was thinking about it yesterday, change my hair color. Well, if you feel so inclined, do it. If you want to go bold or more of a darker burgundy, it's up to you. It can even be blue or pink or green or, whatever you want. But, and you don't have to do it at all. It can be more symbolic than anything. Maybe you're wearing like a burgundy like hat or something. Like you don't have to, unless you really feel like, yeah, let's do it. I was thinking about shaving as I am facing issues, not sure about it. Well, just ask that inner guidance to come forward with what your next best steps are. Because obviously when we're losing hair, we're losing skin cells, there's a purging because your body is saying, okay, I'm done with this. Even if you're like, but hey, I need it so I can look like a beautiful lady that I am. I mean, you're beautiful with or without the hair, but it's our crowning glory usually. Like if my hair started falling out in clumps in big ways, that would be devastating to my heart and my ego, probably. So, but there's a reason behind the letting go of, they say your hair will hold information and toxins and everything from the last 7 years. And there's that 7 reference also with your body fully regenerating itself every 7 years. You're a whole new, all of your cells are brand new. And that's why as a kid, when I heard that, or, teenager in biology class, when I heard that, I'm like, that doesn't track with me because why then do we still age? If we're a whole new person every 7 years and our cells are replaced constantly, why are we aging? Like it just never sat right with me that should be the natural way of it all. It's a shortening of the telomeres, I think, that are like the physical reason behind us aging or whatever, but because you can talk to your body and you do it every day, whether you know it or not, you can tell your telomeres, hey, lengthen up. What are we doing here? Come on. Like, let's go back to what we are designed to be and do. But yeah, for sure, I have not lost so much in my 44 years. Oh, and you have a burgundy beanie. Yeah, and even if, because I would assume that brings on some feelings of shame or embarrassment potentially. That you can use that beanie or some other fun hats or accessories to kind of cover up the fact that that's what's going on. Um, I have even never spotted in the middle of a cycle, though it's menopause, frankly. Yeah, perimenopause, menopause can do some really weird things. Purging, especially of that menopausal area in the body, can do some really crazy things as well. So you may notice, Versha, moving into the next month, the next month, the next month, the next month, you don't have the same weird spotting issue. It was kind of maybe a one-off, or if it does happen again, it's again after a big clearing. Because I won't say, just tuning into it, it doesn't feel just purely perimenopause, like, yep, you're in perimenopause, here's your torch of spotting, yay. It feels very much connected to the purging that you've done. And we were talking about, here's the receipts. We were talking about receipts earlier. Well, here's a very clear validation, external receipt that, hey, all that work that you did, here's a physical representation of now a bit of spotting to prove that something really went down in this area, because spotting is not usually a thing that's ever happened to you. So this is letting you know something different is going on here, or something happened. Yeah. Yeah, the clearing I did yesterday and the apology to the organs was big. Yeah. Good job. You're doing it. You did it. Awesome, awesome. Well, I need to probably go. Ruth is like, and like kind of scratching at my door. I don't know if you guys have heard her over the last probably 2 minutes or so. Oh, you cried a lot. Yeah, that's another big cleansing. And the waters of life. The waters of your tears are like extra crystalline structures than just a regular water. Like there's so many, like with the salt that's in your tears and even the emotion or vibration. They even did these studies. I don't think it was Emoto. It might have been. I know he was like the water crystal guy. But they did studies that tears that come from grief or loss are structured way different than tears that are happy tears, that tears that are like, my whole life just changed. I became a mom for the first time tears. Like all the different types of tears a person can have are structured very differently from the next, from the next, from the next. Yeah, I felt the emotions stored in the sacral, and a lot of times when we do a purge, it will leave through our urine or our sweat. Water is a great carrier of being able to purge what's no longer needed in the body in ways that can really just get it out. Yeah, stored in the sacral, the water chakra came out. Yeah, that makes lots of sense. All right, you guys, I have a lot of cards to pick up, and I know if I don't pick them up, Wrigley's going to step on them or crack them or bend them, fold them. These are like a foil plastic material, so if you fold them, they're going to look really wonky. So I'm going to try to pick these up. But yes, we will be back tomorrow. You won't even have that much of a break from me. So I hope you're used to seeing my mug on your screen, because you'll be seeing me tomorrow if you choose to, or whenever you choose to watch, if you choose to watch our Eclipse special on February 14th, tomorrow, Saturday, at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I will be here. And we're going in. We're going to really uncover the energies, the frequencies, what this means for the future, because this is not just another eclipse cycle. I mean, we've had a lot of eclipse cycles every year for like forever, seems like. But this eclipse portal is just on a different level than I've felt for a hot minute now. So, enjoy today's session. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, you guys. Even when you're watching other people's readings, that you guys still, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. When you spend your time, you pay attention. That maybe you're getting something out of these readings that aren't just purely for the person who paid for it, So I always say that you guys can set that intention. That if you're going to get some nuggets of information or truth or resonance or just awakening in your own spirit, because I'm just a walking code enforcer or disruptor, dismantler. I have Pluto, the planet of death and destruction, but only what doesn't need to be there. Spiritual, the spirit is immortal, so you can't destroy the spirit. It only destroys what should not be there. But I have Pluto exactly conjunct my ascendant. So I'm a walking, talking trigger for a lot of people, either for good or for bad. A lot of people, this is just not me like, oh, look at me. Just if you have Pluto on your ascendant, as a fact, if you're doing astrology and you have Pluto exactly conjunct your ascendant, people cannot come into your lives and be there without changing, or they cannot be in your life and then leave without being changed for having met you, for good or for bad. I would like to hope and think that my Pluto is for good, because I have Jupiter in the first house as well, which is like the guru, the spiritual person, the whatever. And it's in Libra, and it's you know, the planet of, or the sign of, what's best for everybody, you know? So, yeah. So very grateful for the reading, though I don't get any timelines anymore yet. And Jessa as well. We like get her timeline and then it comes and goes. Get her a timeline, comes and goes. But if there's any psychic or intuitive or reader or person out there that claims I can predict the timing of this moving forward, they are lying to you, because it's almost like these timelines are very K2, because K2 is very hard to predict by. Especially when it's in Maga Nakshatra, which it's moving into, or has recently moved into, or will be soon moving into. That is its home place in Leo, K2. It's moving into its Maga Nakshatra, which is undefinable. You cannot define that which does not have a definition. It's like the shadow and the smoke disappears before you can even look at it, let alone get a hold of it, examine it, label it, slap it on the shelf, whatever it is people do. Yeah. My own reading surprised me. I am not even planning to ask for a message from my dragons. I will connect with them more now. White one is with me right now. Black one is enjoying a ride with inner child. I love that. All right, you guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow for our big eclipse special. I'm sure lots of Pluto energy, truth bombs are going to be associated. We have a big stellium, a big, I don't know how many car pile up of planets going on in Aquarius. We're at the cusp or the verge of, you know, the next yuga. We're moving out of the Kali Yuga into the one that I forget, moving from the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, and it all feels like it's just overlapping right now. So these are big times, you guys. And I hope to get into more of that tomorrow. So you guys can tune on in if you feel so inclined. And thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live tomorrow, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Yeah, at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. All right, bye. Bye.